Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty
Hey enthusiasts, what's happening? This is Salty Language episode 517.
The sexiest podcast on the network.
The totally not on our second takiest podcast of the network.
That shit never happens, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, just only sometimes.
I basically had the equivalent of, like, you'll see those videos of somebody that's about to run like a 100-meter dash. Everybody's up on the blocks, and then as soon as somebody they shoot the gun, the person just falls forward. Basically,
yeah, it's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate.
Like, oh, jeez.
It's all right. Could have been worse, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I could have just left it in there, I guess, but
yeah.
The vibe just felt bad. I didn't like it. So it had to go. I don't mind talking about it, but it had to go.
Sorry, yeah, we don't want to get off on the wrong foot or whatever.
Yeah, or start the race on our face, basically.
Yeah, exactly, right. That is what they call no bueno.
Shit show. Yep.
Hi, Brian. How's it going, man?
Oh, dude. Good, actually,
Yeah?
Well, today, it didn't start off good because, again, weather, my head's been crushing me over the last couple days. Just why the show's part of the reason why the show's a little late. Because even if you had wanted to record yesterday, I don't know if I could have. I think it would have been one of those times where, you know how we've had a few episodes where we're coming in both like low energy?
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, I would have so sounded like I was basically, when I have a bad migraine and I talk, a lot of times I'll sound like I'm stoned.
Hey, man.
Because I don't want to talk loud because it hurts my own head to talk.
Right.
So today I woke up, still had the headache, and I'm like, come on, use my neti pot, freaking took some Excedrin, all this. And I was like, well, sometimes it's just need a, little shot of caffeine to, help with that. So had a Coke, and I was like, well, I should eat because, again, there's something that could be hey. And, the pulled pork fairy stopped by my house yesterday.
Yeah.
So day before, sorry. So I was like, I have these like packets of Uncle Ben's. I'm sorry, Ben's Original.
He'll forever be my Uncle Ben.
Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah.
But actually, I think the packets I have say Uncle Ben because I bought them before they
60s.
did the official swap. yeah, I bought them well before I was born. They were passed down to me by my great grandpappy. Of cilantro lime rice. So I'm like, well, I got this pulled pork. I'm gonna throw it on some rice, put some a little corn salsa there, a little cheese and lettuce, and basically have like a Chipotle bowl kind of thing.
I mean, it makes sense to me.
Right. Because yesterday I was like, well, I'm hungry. I'm about to smash some of this pulled pork. So, I get out my I bought the wrong taco shells. I bought fajita size. I meant to get street taco size. Not a big deal.
You just have giant street tacos.
Yes. So I just loaded up with the pork, a little onion over the top of it. I didn't have any cilantro, but
came over
just
here.
a
we
little.
Always have some on deck. It seems like I got some freshly out to my fridge right now.
Damn it! See, well, that's the thing. I have dried cilantro, but I didn't want to sully your pulled pork.
Dried cilantro is trash.
It's not my choice. We have it.
Fair enough.
So anyway, I was like, well, I'm not putting, like I said, thou shalt not sully the pulled pork with dried cilantro. But I just put a little salsa over the top, and just smashed, I don't know, 4 of those.
Nice.
And it was so good. So I figure what's going to happen is by the time I get through all this, it's going to be like Bubba Gump, and be like, I have pulled pork tacos, pulled pork bowl, pulled pork sandwich, pulled pork cereal. I'm just going to everything. It's getting pulled pork right on the top of it.
You might as well.
Yeah. So
I'm just
because I thoroughly enjoy it. What's disappointing to me is I haven't been to the store, so I don't have a little slaw I can put on the sandwich.
Yeah.
I got pickles or onions. I got a little of that to give you a little of that bite, on top of it. But it's like a slaw would be perfect to put on top of it. I don't have the stuff to make slaw. Like for the tacos, that would have been the move too. A little slaw right on top. Just smash them basically. But, like I said, I ain't mad at what I ended up doing with them, and it's been really good. And eating it like the Chipotle bowl was fantastic. That was great. So
that sounds like a good move. Yesterday, I just heated up and threw it in a bowl with some coleslaw, and I was like, "This is food."
Nothing wrong with that either. I mean, it itself, it was good because that's how I tried it the first time. I just pulled some right out of the bag like it was goddamn Big League Chew.
I mean, fair enough.
Right in between my cheek and gum, as you
do.
Yeah, but that's how, because, you got to taste it without any accoutrement first. And,
Exactly.
And then decide what to put on it. Because that was the thing. Because I'm like, all right, what do I have? What do I want to put on this? Because, again, I'm making tacos. I don't need to get crazy here. I don't need to run a whole salad on it. I just,
sometimes I think when you go to some taco places and they, go too overboard.
Yeah.
It's like, you got too much. Just keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
That's saying.
I get it if they're beef tacos. I mean, by ground beef tacos, I kind of want the salad. But if you're giving me steak or chicken or pork that's just cooked right, I don't need much on top of it.
Like a little onion, like a little cilantro, squeeze some lime. Shit's golden.
I'm good. Yep, exactly. Yeah. That's where I'm at too. So yeah, that's I've been definitely enjoying that, and my mom enjoyed it too. She had some last night. She had herself a sandwich, and was a big fan. Same thing. She didn't, because she's like, "Do I need sauce on it?" And I'm like, "No, but that's up to you." Yeah. There's plenty of just goodness in it from.
I dry rubbed the shit out of it. So.
Yeah, it was good. My compliments for sure. I'm a lucky dude, my nephew showed up a couple times, was like burnt ends. He had brisket. He's, you show up with the pulled pork. It's like, man.
Well, it's like I had it. I was going to make it a couple weeks ago, so I froze it because I ran out of time. And I'm like, it's 4th of July weekend. I'm making this pork shoulder.
Right.
And that's I got up at
like you said before, you got to have the time to baby.
So I got up 6 in the morning, threw that shit out on the smoker, and just kind of took care of it all day, and spritzed it down with a little cider and apple juice combo, or cider vinegar apple juice situation, and I just babysat that thing all day.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. That's for sure. It was good. Yeah. What stunk was when you texted me and was like, "Yo, pulled pork." By the time, when I saw it, we were already out to eat.
Oh, right.
And it already ordered, and I'm like, "Fuck," because otherwise I would have been like, "Turn the car around. We're just gonna go home and have some pulled pork."
That's fair.
Because he's bringing over pulled pork. So, what was funny was Jim actually ended up at Bob Evans, and because on the 4th there were a lot of places closed, which is a little weird to me, but also it makes sense because of the labor situation. I know Mancino's, the pizza joint up here, they were closed over the weekend because they didn't have enough people to work.
What are you gonna do, right?
Which, yeah, exactly. So they just chose to close for the weekend, and I saw another thing. Couple restaurants that have been here, especially one of them, Ahmed's, that's been here forever. They're permanently closing.
Really?
Yep. They didn't say why. They just said circumstances out of their control. So I don't know if.
Interesting, because if you go to the Monet's or Monet's, how you pronounce it, our little local veggie stand over there, they sell their salad dressing there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was like, because I saw it sitting on the shelf, I was like, oh shit, is this Ahmed's Toledo? And sure is. So I can't. That's kind of shocking that they're closing permanently.
Yeah. Them and sorry for the folks who aren't local. Them and Sardini's both closing.
Oh, really? We just ate a Sardini's.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it was on Channel 11's. It was on the app last night or the night before or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So anyways, Jim shows up down
people
about.
Own both restaurants.
They used to.
I know. Yeah, I remember that. It's I wonder if they still do.
Because it used to be the parents own the steakhouse, the kids own Sardini's.
Yeah, I wonder if it's still a family
Sardini's closed. Yeah, it closed and reopened, and maybe I don't know.
The why they're both closing.
Could be. I don't know. Yeah, they didn't.
Things out of their control.
Yeah. It didn't. Yeah, that was all the details they gave. So I was
Interesting.
like, okay. But we end up at Bob Evans. Jim shows up and he goes, "Yeah, I was just at the house." And I'm like, "Oh, did you get the pork out of the door?" And he goes, "What?" I was like, "Tony left some pulled pork, in the door, And he goes, "Oh," he's like, "I didn't go in." He's like, "I just went to the house, saw you guys weren't there, and decided to go get something to eat." Like, "Oh, okay." So, yeah.
The old pork in the door maneuver.
Well, that's why when you were like, "I'm on my way," and I'm like, "Shit," and I was like, "Well, you can leave it in the door, or we have covers for our chairs on the patio. It's like, you can tuck it under there if you need to,
Yeah, it was one of those things where it was just like, you know what, let's go out for a little Jeep ride, deliver some pork, and
as you
yeah,
do, yeah,
exactly. Picked up a couple little things at Kroger's and since we were out and about, and yeah, made
yeah.
for
You just put on some wings, a pig nose, and a pigtail,
yeah,
and just go be the pork fairy.
Made
Yeah.
for a nice little evening. I gotta say,
Yeah.
I only had 3 days off, but it felt like, I don't know, a whole vacation. I made the most out of that weekend.
Good,
Oh my God,
good.
it was beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah,
Glad to
it's
hear
too
it.
bad I went back to fucking work today.
Yeah, well, fairy tales always got to end,
All
right?
right, what are you gonna do?
Is the macaroni salad still in there, or did it finally get
It
tossed?
was there this morning.
Oh my God, it's
And
still
it
there.
finally got tossed in between when I clocked
Oh,
in and lunch.
did they have like a hazmat team come out to?
Like I honestly, once the lid blew off of it,
Oh, it did
it
blow.
did.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because like I went in there to put my fucking lunchbox in there. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, did you guys pull the lid off or did it just blow off? And everyone's like, oh, it must have just blown off. I'm like, God damn it. And
It's like, yeah, because the only other thing would have been like somebody needed to like burp that thing,
I mean,
to
it was
loosen the
burped
air.
once.
Oh, okay. Because like how like they have like the pressure valves and shit on a bunch of things, and every so often they'll loosen them to let some steam out so you don't have an explosion, basically. And it was like I think that's what was going on there. Is it needed
Yeah, it was
it needed a
it was
release.
bad. But yeah, I could not believe it was still in there this morning. I'm like, and the lid was just
Yeah,
off still. I'm like, are you kidding me?
the other part of it was like there's no way it was good. Like you shouldn't have macaroni salad that
No.
long. Like there's no way it was
Like
still
it was a
good.
little weird tasting at grilling and chilling, so I'm pretty sure it was starting to turn already.
Yeah. Well, I told you how they acquired the food.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah,
I
that's
was
for
like,
dumpster diving.
just yeah, all the whatever was spurled, and they're like, it's still good.
Yeah. Tiger King style.
Yeah. Things are always good a month after the
Oh,
expiration date.
It's fine. It's like if you go with my Depression era grandmother, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Well,
fine. It's like you're pouring cottage cheese in your cereal bowl.
that at least that was understandable, because that might have been the only way you could have something on your cereal if you had cereal in those days.
I mean, I guess, but Jesus.
Cottage cheese probably was their cereal.
No, I'm talking about you open up the milk jug and you pour.
I know,
Okay.
I
I was
know.
to say, I was like, no, slow down, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit was gross.
No,
Gross.
I know a lot of people from that era don't waste much. It's so amazing when you take someone from that era and put them with the throwaway society that we've become.
I know, right?
And it pains them because they're like, like even my grandma will like for the longest time, she used to like, if she didn't use a napkin all the way, she would just tuck it under her placemat and use it again for dinner, basically. And it's like, Grandma, you have like 1,000 napkins.
Yeah, what are
and
you
like,
doing?
she's like, well, there's no need to waste. And it's like, okay, but there's also no need to like put germs on something and then just let it sit on your table for 4 hours.
That's what you think, Brian.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's what you think.
So, yeah. But it's an interesting dichotomy in the two. How far we've come since since the Depression, essentially. Because they can't imagine just throwing everything away the way we do now.
I know, right? It's
yeah,
like,
and it's understandable. It is terrible.
oh,
it's
we're
just
awful. We're awful things. This earth should shake us off like fleas.
well, not just that, but I mean, even just you look at the quality of things have declined because of the concept of like you get a printer, they're built to last what like 3 years, and then they shit basically.
Bro, we're having printer problems right now because Michelle's trying to print stuff out. She's got to ship stuff.
Yeah,
and the ink cartridge is bad apparently. So we went to
Okay.
go to Costco to fill it up. They don't do it anymore. The woman at Costco's like, maybe Walmart. Went to Walmart, which that's always an experience.
Always.
They don't do it anymore. So today she went to that place. It's by you, that like ink
Yeah.
cartridge
Yep.
express, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
And that's what the woman told her. She's like, yeah, the cartridges now are programmed to tell your printer that they're empty. And she's like, you can reuse them, but you can only reuse them a couple times, and then they're just trash.
Oh, wow,
like,
that's
like
such
our
a shit.
color one, she said is probably the last time she can fill it. And
Wow.
then like Michelle brought it home and she still can't print. It's like everything, like the color looks good and the black and white is awful. And it's like, it's almost like, okay, my printer is less than 5 years old. And it's
Yeah.
at the point
Meanwhile,
now we're probably just going to have to buy a new one.
knock on synthetic, whatever my chair's made out of. You know, I mentioned, what was it, a week or two ago, about how on the Chappelle show I saw literally a printer that's the same model as
Yeah.
mine. It's like 20 years old. But yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, and printers have been that way so long that it's like, yeah, might as well just buy a new
Right.
one. They're only, you know, although during the pandemic, that's been a little different because printers have been in short
I know
supply.
that chip shortage, eh?
Yep.
Yeah.
So prices on used printers were like through the roof on like eBay and stuff. You know, I know a lot of people were hitting up like Goodwills and stuff, just buying, and I've seen a bunch of printers, but the problem with buying them from there is you don't know, even if you plug them in and they power up and blah, 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 you don't know if they work.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to actually run and, you know, try them out. And, you know, if they don't work, then now you've got to deal with that junk.
Yeah, now something you got to just donate back to Goodwill.
Shit.
Someone else's problem. Bam, 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 bam.
If she's going to be printing a ton, something she might do is look into thermal printers.
That's exactly what she's doing.
Make sure she vets them out real good, though, because there are some that are shittier than others.
I mean, she'll listen to this, so I mean, you know, listen up, lady.
Yeah.
Do it.
Because my brother was, you know, we've listened to enough stuff about people who sell on Amazon and use them, and they're like, man, this is the only way to go now, and all this. But there's some models, I guess, that are better than others. I couldn't tell you which ones, but I know there's better ones than others. So,
like most things, I guess.
and on those, you just have to buy labels for, you know, so.
Which is a beautiful thing.
Right.
Yes.
I don't know what the longevity of the printer itself is, though. You know,
I mean,
like I don't know
from just past jobs that there's label printers that lasted years and just ran like fucking champs. You know?
Yep. That's why I said it's just one of those things you definitely want to research before you leave. Plus, they're not like, you know, they're usually, you know, $150 or more. So, you know, you gotta, you know, you want to do your diligence on it because you want to make sure you're not just throwing that money away.
Yeah, for sure, right?
Yeah.
Throwing it away.
Word.
So is your...
So how about you?
What?
Whoa,
what happened? I was saying, does your neighborhood still sound like Vietnam, late 60s?
It's calming down on the actual 4th. It was pretty crazy until about 3 a.m, almost 4. Because we went out for a minute and I counted like 5 different ways people were shooting off fireworks around here.
Of course.
So yeah, it was pretty noisy for a while. And I'll tell you, it really sucks for me because of the like issues I have with some sounds.
Right.
You know, like this sensitivity I have to some sounds, and it's just the repetition of the bah, 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 you know, kind of things or whatever. And after a while, I'm just like, oh God, just can you stop for 10 minutes?
You would think, right?
You know? And at one point,
Who
I
drinks
went
out of a
in.
bottle like that.
You.
No, we're not doing the squeezy top.
All right, I'm with you on that. We'll talk about that in a second. Or real quick, let's just tangent into it real quick, which is I never understand when they show the bottles of water on TV and they're like, with the sports cap. And I'm like, yeah, because untwisting the cap is so hard.
I know.
I if you're trying to drink and run at the same time, then yeah, then you're going to be throwing water all over the place versus the squeeze top. You just squeeze the bottle. But most of the bottles they put those on are not the easiest, like squeezing.
This feels like I could squeeze it pretty easy, but I
Yeah.
don't want to. I just want to drink this delicious water.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the way I usually am too.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, but so going back to the fireworks, I actually at one point I went in my room, put my like the headphones like I'm wearing now, put those on and played some music.
Yeah, I got a little post show thing about headphones. I got to talk to you about real quick before I go to bed.
Right.
We'll save that for after the program.
Okay.
Yeah, and my neighborhood is weird. For the 3rd of July was let me see here. Yeah, the 3rd of July was calm as fuck in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
It was the 4th of July the 4th of July was fairly calm.
Okay.
It was the day after. I'm all confused now. What day was the 4th? Was that Sunday? Okay,
Sunday,
so the 3rd
yeah.
was calm. Sunday was insane. Monday was kind of insane.
Right, because people still got a few left.
Yeah, like the ones that really annoyed me, I'll be honest, is like one of my neighbors, I don't know which one. It's like 11 in the morning, and they're like, boom.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't even see it.
I said that, remember, last year somebody around here was doing that. At like 4 PM, they were shooting them off. I'm like, what are you doing? You can't even see them.
It's like, well, you're insane.
I understand. You got to wait till like 10 o'clock to really start shooting them off because it's not really dark till 9:15, 9:30.
Exactly.
But still, it's like, come on.
Like I was expecting all weekend to be nutty, and it really wasn't bad. My neighbor was pretty chill until, yesterday and the day before.
Yeah,
and honestly, like the 4th of July, we just sat inside and watched ID4.
That's a much better movie.
Earth.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm not a fireworks guy anymore. Like I was when I was a kid. I thought they were awesome and fun and all that. I just don't care anymore.
I mean,
honestly, now I can't look at them without going, that's so much money that people are wasting,
I mean, I like them. They're fun. It's fun to blow shit up.
Well, yeah, there's that.
I've never gone all out and like dropped all the money like a lot of people do.
I'll say this. Like, if you spend a little money on it, you got people over and whatever, I get it. Especially this year, right? Like, everybody's like, fuck this. We need to blow some steam off, literally. We need to blow some shit up and celebrate. No, I get it. I fully do. And I ain't hating on anybody who does. The ones that I can't understand is when it's like, you and like 6 family members and they've spent like $600 on fireworks. It's like, come on.
I mean, a dude I work with, he showed a picture of him and his whole truck bed is full. And it's
Lord.
like, I know how much. What are you doing?
Like, please just buy a little so you can have some fun, and then just take the rest of that money and go give it to like a food bank or something.
Or wrap your money around a firework and then shoot it in the air, because that's what you're doing.
Like I said, I get it, and I ain't mad at somebody because it's not like every cent I spend is responsibly. I mean, how many beers am I poured in my face? How many Funko Pops have I bought? I ain't gonna completely shit on somebody. If that's your thing, that's your thing.
Exactly. That's your thing.
But at the same time, I'm like, yo, that is so like I won't spend $600 on a Funko Pop.
Right.
You know what I mean? like there's a limit, and I can't get over it. Just how easily people are like, yo, I got to beat last year. I got to go. And it's like, why?
They show up to the fireworks store and it's like, buy 4, get 18 free. Yeah. And it's like, oh, shit, I got to buy 4. And then I got to buy 4 more. Ah.
And I get it, like that. It's just, well, especially like I said, it's like, man, it's like people up here, you literally could have just sat outside and watched fireworks.
Yeah.
You don't, or like there's an apartment complex south of here that we were coming back, and there were all sorts of people sitting out by the sidewalk just watching fireworks because there were so many going off around, and you have down there you have a much clearer view of things. They're just sitting down there watching these shows going off, and it's totally free. They had to spend a cent.
It's like,
it's like that's the move.
Leah, she's got sensory problems, and the 4th of July we had a little like family meeting that morning, so I drove up to her mom's house. And the end of their road was just littered with debris.
Oh, I don't
And
doubt
I'm
it.
like,
Yeah.
hey, how'd you sleep? And she's like, oh, it's
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
And then
It
the
is.
next day, her and I hung out, and I picked her up in the morning. It was the same thing. More, I was like,
Yeah.
jeez, it's the same two
Yeah.
houses. It looked like.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
was. That's a tough part too, is it's one of those scenarios where, you know, it's similar to like, you know, when I've talked about my misophonia, you know, with other people like eating.
Yeah.
And it's like in my head, I go right to rage, but I also try really hard not to actually rage on the people because they're not doing it. You know, they're not doing it on purpose generally.
Yeah. Until they
and
are.
it's my problem. Yeah, well, that's a
and then
different
we
story.
stab
But
the
you know,
shit out of them.
it's my problem, you know, and I have to figure out a way to deal with it. And it's really tough because, you know, you don't want to be like, hey, can you go in the other room and chew? You know,
I mean, you could.
But at the same
Also,
time,
Brian,
and same with
that seems to be a great T-shirt idea.
yeah, could you go in the other room and chew? But you know, it's same with like fireworks. It's like people, you don't want to shit on somebody else having fun, but also if you're somebody like you were saying with Leah, or even my situation, you know, you have some sensory issues, or if you have PTSD or animals that frighten easily, it's like there's all these things. But also it's like it's a tough scenario because you have part of the population that doesn't have any problems with it, love it, all that kind of stuff, and then the other part of the population, it makes them literally can cause them pain or anxiety,
The
whatever.
dogs, all the animals
You know?
are freaking out past couple days.
Yeah.
Like
My cat is okay until it gets to like somebody around here sounded like they were shooting off like old timey like war cannons.
that a bazooka?
Oh no, I don't mean a bazooka. I'm talking like put the cannonball in the thing. They were like, dude, I was recording with Jen and I felt my desk shake a couple of times. I don't know what was getting fired off. Clearly it was in close proximity as well. But I was like, and my cat, you know, when I went out, she's, you know, her eyes were huge, and every little sound at that point, she was like, what the fuck? And also, like I said, you know, fireworks are being shot in all different directions. So she, you know, a lot of times animals are like, okay, this way is safe, this way seems dangerous. With this, it was literally
There's
like
danger everywhere.
Yeah, and I felt so bad for her. You know, I picked her up a couple of times and she was okay, but it's still like it sucks because you can't go, hey, it's just fireworks, and they go, oh, okay, I'm fine, you know.
Right.
Or people with babies, you know, if a couple of my online friends,
fuck them kids.
kids are sleeping at night and fireworks going off and scaring their babies.
I mean, that's
you know?
the shit that honestly bugs me. That's why it's like, I get it. It's 4th of July. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, let's keep it to like one day.
See, that's my thing. You know, like if everybody's like, hey, you know what? It's the 4th of July. It's going to be crazy. Maybe a couple, I understand cities sometimes will, you know, do things and stagger it so that this city's not doing it at the same time as another city. You know, I understand that, but that's generally in a downtown kind of area away from more residential stuff. But at least if you know it's coming, it's not so bad.
Right.
But like up here, like I told you, it's like once again this year, dude, this is the 3rd week they've been shooting fireworks off. And there's going to be a clearance sale now because it's after the 4th.
Yeah, you got to get rid of them.
So some of these places are still going to be open for a couple weeks to blow out what's left.
Yeah, I get it.
So, you know, for a couple weeks, it's probably still going to keep going.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
It is. It is. Like I said all along, it's like I get it. You know, I get people enjoying them. You know, it is fun to blow things up. I ain't mad at that. Well, I kind of am. But actually, the only ones that really make me mad are in like some of the cities where they like out west where they literally have forest fires going on, and people are like, "Woo, fireworks!"
Let's shoot Roman
like,
candles at all that dry brush.
Yeah, it's like maybe not the best idea. And that's the thing is the whole country's pretty much like that right now. Is it's hot and dry everywhere. You know, like when you were talking about your neighborhood, I'm like, oh God, with all those trees over there, one mistake could like light up your whole neighborhood, basically. Like shit. And what are you gonna do? Get out there with your, you know, garden hose?
Fuck yeah, I am. I just bought a new garden wand. It's fucking sick.
Oh, all right. Well, fair enough.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you know, on the 3rd, when the city did the fireworks, we decided like. 'Cause I don't know if you've ever been downtown for the fireworks.
Once.
It's a shit show.
Long time.
And,
Totally.
And it was one of those things where, I looked at it, I'm like, you want to just go out for a drive? Because we like to do that, especially in the summer. Just take the Jeep out, no doors, nothing. It's a nice, cool drive,
Right.
Like, let's just kind of cruise through downtown and see what's doing.
Yeah.
Shit show. I mean, it was insane.
Well, and again, this year I fully expected it more even than ever before.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm trying to kind of cruise along the river a little bit because you can't get anywhere near Henville and all that. Roads are closed. There's people everywhere. So I'm like, in the back of my dumb head, I'm like, oh, I wonder if we can sneak into Toledo Spirits and get a drink, because a nice cocktail sounds good. That place was insane.
Of course,
but there's a street that runs along the river that I know from delivering downtown for 15 years. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to pull. And we parked right on the river with as later it got, more people showed up. But we watched the downtown fireworks from the Jeep and we're far enough away that the noise wasn't really painful. Yeah. But we could see the whole show. It was great.
That's the old when you go to an area like a tourist area, all the touristy shit is full as hell, but everybody who's a resident is like, nah, you gotta go a street over, and that's the spot.
That's what it felt like, because there was a bunch of families there, and they were shooting off sparklers and little fireworks, playing cornhole and music going, and I'm sitting there man, I wish I had a cooler, because this feels like I need this is a bring your cooler activity right now. But then these people must have been there all day. This dude sounded drunk or high. Well, we definitely smelled a lot of weed. As soon as the fireworks are going off, man, from behind us, I just hear, yeah.
Almost like you were listening to a person basically pretend they were doing a NASCAR race.
Exactly. And he'd stop and just be like, he'd be like,
yeah,
fucking 4th of July. Yeah. And so we had that going. We had this little girl who I don't know how.
Gotta get your burqa on, right?
God, he was great. He was I wish that's the guy who I want to interview for our show or something. But then there's this little, what is in my pocket? What is this? I got a random screw and nut in my pocket. That's weird.
You'll do that.
There's this little girl. I think it was his daughter, because all the noise is coming from the same sector.
Please tell me she was just doing the same thing.
Well, she kept going, it's 4th of July. It's 4th of July. And then she'd do a high pitched scream, and you could hear her mom just be like, all right, honey, you gotta stop.
You're making everyone's ears
exactly.
bleed.
Anytime
Please
she
stop.
did the shriek, her mom was like, "You can't. You got to stop." But then during the fireworks, her mom was just like, "Yes, they showed up this year. Yes." So we have Yay Guy. It was a great chorus.
I don't know if you got they almost didn't this year because the city of Toledo was having trouble sourcing fireworks.
I didn't know that. Well, they put on a hell of a show for someone that almost didn't do it.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because they put out a release that was hey, they're off. Not going to happen this year. And that was a week later, and they're like, all right, it's back.
We figured it out. we went up to Phantom Fireworks. We got this.
Yeah. Did you know they sell them right out of a building?
Yeah, fucking guy. Yeah.
Oh man.
But then it was great because as soon as the finale ended, I just turned the key over and we were gone before traffic.
Yeah, right.
We didn't take the same route home because there's no way I would have cut through downtown.
Oh no, not when everyone's trying to leave.
No.
God.
But it was. I gotta say, for a going downtown to watch the fireworks situation, if you don't have a boat and you can just sit in the water, that is the move.
That sounds about as good as it can be, because I remember years ago when I went with different friends of ours and whatever, and when we got down there, we had to park so far away from where they were at, which again is not a massive deal because you can still see everything fine. But it was still the idea that it was we were so far away, but we were also enclosed so much that when we went to leave, it took forever to get out of there.
that would be one of those things. If I decided to do that again next year, I would go a little earlier, bring some chairs, bring a cooler, you know, and just hang out and have a little, like, maybe bring a little grill or something, you know, and just kind of hang out.
Just tailgate,
yeah, basically,
right?
Yeah, honestly, just tailgate, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they sell little grills you hook to your like trailer hitch.
Yeah, they do.
That'd be perfect.
Just show up at like 2 p.m.
Yeah, right.
I'm pre-gaming.
I mean, honestly, I'm not mad at that idea. You know what else made me sad too?
It makes me sad.
Is normally on the 4th of July, trailer hitch grill. Oh shit, those are expensive.
All right, well, never mind. That's right out.
They got one for $73. It looks a lot. Oh, what am I doing? I could just pull this up for video people. Hey, if you want to see what I'm talking about, go to Salty Language Pod on YouTube and check us out.
Yeah, or don't.
Yeah, they got basically it looks like the same grill that you can use when you know those filthy ass grills at state parks.
Yeah,
it basically looks like that, but it hooks to your trailer hitch.
Well, or you just go to the park and steal one of those.
But I need the trailer hitch attachment.
I mean, you don't have to.
I mean, you're right. Material options? What?
You've got straps. You could strap that thing down somehow.
Hot dip galvanized finish. That sounds sexy.
It does sound pretty sexy.
Anywho, what the fuck was I talking about, Brian? I'm sorry. I got all distracted by Trailer Hitch Grill.
I don't remember. Something about the 4th and disappointing. That's all I remember.
4th and disappointing.
Yeah, because you say you know what was disappointing, and then you start talking about your grill and.
I don't remember anymore. Oh, I do remember. Okay,
Right.
I got the big dumb Jeep because I love it.
Yep.
And what I normally do on like Memorial Day and 4th of July is I have an old American flag that I like zip tie to one of the roll bars and I drive around.
By old American flag, he means like he stole like an old one from a museum.
Yes, I exactly.
It's only got like 8 states because fuck the rest of them.
Exactly. These are the only states that count.
Right.
But I can't really do that in this current climate because I don't want to be labeled as one of those guys.
Yeah, I understand.
You know? And I maybe I'll give it a year and then I'll bring it back next year. But I I honestly miss driving around looking like an idiot.
I think on the 4th you could get away with it because kind of everybody's got that America type of
vibe.
thing. Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying though.
But I understand though.
Yeah.
That's all right. You were flying the flag in your heart.
Exactly.
It was funny when we went out, we were heading to Bob Evans on the 4th, and I'm looking at the different places that are closed. And, my mom's like, man, everything's closed. And I look and I'm like, titty bar is open. I'm like, gotta liberate them.
The old titty bar.
And then I remembered that it's Ohio and they still have to cover up, I think. So it's like a bikini bar. So it's not really liberating them titties.
No, it's pretty lame, really.
I don't like it.
It's pretty
free the titties.
America, goddammit.
That's right.
Yeah, no, the 4th was good though. I mean, or the 3rd rather.
Yeah.
Like I said, the 4th we just hung out and watched movies, and that's the day I made my pulled pork. So I just babysat pork all day, and we watched Beavis and Butthead Do America and Independence Day. Although I figured out what I want to do sometime in the future too. Not here, because this house is not really set up to entertain. Really, at least people, a decent amount. Well, maybe a small group, but I want to do an Independence Day party, and just put like a banner out front that just says "Welcome to Earth," and then get one of those little projectors and just have the movie just in a loop, like projected on the garage, and then have a 4th of July party, but it's an ID4 themed 4th of July party.
I like it. Get an alien, get a few alien. Oh God, I can't think of pinatas.
Definitely alien pinatas.
No sticks allowed. You have to punch him right in the face.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yell about how he should be at a barbecue right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And then right before you eat, instead of like saying grace, you play the president's speech.
Hell yeah.
From then everyone.
That would be the thing for the party. Like once the speech stops, everyone has to stop what they're doing like
Yeah.
stand up, take their hats off.
Right. Or get open hand slapped.
Yep, exactly. And I have to have cigars because that was the thing. You get
Right.
smoke cigars throughout it.
Right.
And of course, you'd all be dead if it wasn't for my David. My David. My David. We'd all be dead if it wasn't for my David.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Man, I forgot about how fun that movie is.
Yeah, I watched it last year around the same time because obviously, usually somebody has it on.
You have to.
Or you can find it on a streaming service. I'm sure some.
Oh yeah, that's what I did. I just was like, because I have got the old Fire TV. I just held down that button on the remote and I was like, Independence Day. Pulled it up. I'm like, yes, I have the service. Excellent. I didn't want to rent it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really is where we're at with it now because it's like, do I have the service it's on?
Exactly. Like I can't remember what movie. I was just telling, I think it was Michelle, that I was like, we need to watch this, and it's on some weird streaming platform like Tubi TV or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't even know what Tubi is, but apparently I need to download it to watch whatever movie I can't remember what I wanted to watch. Stupid streaming services.
Yeah. It's not as bad if it's a free one because there's various ones that are free, but it's different if you got to pay for it.
Hold on. I'm remembering. It wasn't a movie I wanted to watch. It was the Battlestar Galactica series because the president's wife in Independence Day is the president in Battlestar Galactica. And I was like, that's the bitch from Battlestar Galactica / Dances with Wolves.
Kevin Costner?
Yes. And then Michelle was like, I haven't seen either one of those. I'm like, what?
Oh my God, dude. I remember one year in school, I don't remember which year it was, but literally the last 2 or 3 days of the year, that's what we did in one of my classes. The teacher just put on Dances with Wolves and we watched it.
Yeah, I remember that too. Like one of my history teachers. That's the last 3 days of your school year. We're watching Dances with Wolves.
Yeah, and it's not for really any other reason than, it's got some history stuff, but it's more just like, hey, here's a treat at the end of the year, basically, or a torture if you hated the movie.
How can you hate it? It's not a bad movie.
You could put your head down, go sleep if you didn't want to watch the movie. Nobody cared,
what's it on Rotten Tomatoes? I wonder.
I don't know. Yeah. It's like, who's going to argue versus just sitting there, actually doing homework or something.
Right, exactly.
When nobody's paying attention those last few days
Holy
anyway.
Shit, I just pulled up I just Googled IMDb, and I don't know who, Tantu Cardinal, whoever this is, looks like shit now.
Okay.
Sorry. So it's an 8 out of 10 on IMDb. I want that infamous tomato meter. 83%. Yeah. That's a fucking certified fresh, I believe.
Pretty much the same number. 8 out of 10 is 80%. So that's
83%
pretty close.
on the tomato meter, 87% in the audience score. What can you say? It's a fun ass movie, right?
Yeah.
It made $184 million. It seems like it should have made more. Am I wrong in thinking this?
Well, I think the reason it didn't make more is because outside of the U.S., I don't know how many people were as interested in it.
I guess I could see that.
Yeah, it's not like Spider-Man where everybody wants to see Spider-Man.
Right, the Spider-Mans.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fair enough. I guess you make a good point.
Whatever Spider can, I don't know.
Spider-Ham?
Yes.
Spider-Stan.
For sure, Spider-Ham. One of my favorite characters ever.
Honestly, you've seen Into the Spider-Verse, right? Okay,
yep.
I was like, that movie's so. That's what I said. It's like when I buy a really good TV with those deep ass blacks, the first thing I'm watching is Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, good call on that.
I flex a little,
The first time that they announced that Spider-Ham was going to be in that, I was so excited because I remember as a kid reading my brother's Spider-Man books, and whenever there'd be a B story, in the back of the book, there'd be, that 2 or 3 page, whatever, and it'd be Spider-Ham, and I'd always be like, and
Spider-Ham.
When they put out a Funko Pop of Spider-Ham, I was like, I have to get one of these because it's Spider-Ham, and sure enough, I, procured one very quickly.
You have to.
Yeah, well, it was a little tough because it was like a Walgreens exclusive, so it was tough to find right at first because it was after that movie came out.
Right.
So it was kind of one everybody was trying to grab, and I happened to be at a Walgreens when they were putting them on the shelves, and I was like, yoink.
Hell to the yeah.
Yeah, so.
I wish I could reach this light over here and turn it off.
Nah,
because
it's
I want to
perfect.
see how my colored lights work. But it's all the way over there, and I just can't reach it. Yeah. Man, you can see it on the back wall. Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I can see the colors changing slightly.
How fun.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Apparently, I just need
so
more.
this. Yeah, lots more. Thousands and thousands more.
I could fill this whole wall up of LEDs.
Yeah, to where it looked like a beaded curtain, but it was all LED lights.
Sick.
Yeah. So yeah, this week we hung out for a little bit with a buddy of ours.
That
had
was
quite
good times.
Had some had some tacos, had beers. I mean, geez.
I gotta throw this out there though.
Yeah.
So I recall as a young lad, a child even, my Faja and I would go to J&G's Pizza all the time. It was amazing. I was not impressed by that pizza.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Yeah, and like I dude I work with, his parents live right up the road from there, and he was like, we were talking about J&G's, and I'm like, dude, I was just there. I got a pizza, and it wasn't that great. And he's like, you know what? My mom thinks that they're buying cheap ingredients right now because COVID kind of fucked everything up.
That's
and
possible.
I'm like, maybe.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if maybe just had a bad day in the kitchen or something.
It wasn't. It just
really good.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, it wasn't bad, but I just
remember it being so much better.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. It wasn't. I mean, it hit the spot, got the job done.
Yeah.
I mean,
it did. Yeah.
Then we ended up over at Inside the Five, and you or Steve, I don't remember who, spotted that it was Taco Tuesday, so we all threw down on some tacos. I poured too much Tabasco on mine.
You'll have that.
Well, it was tough because, I expected her to bring out like a bottle of Tabasco.
Right.
And you just keep, a little shuka on the taco and you're good. She brings out like, a dipping cup half full of Tabasco, and I go to pour, and, Tabasco's a runny sauce.
Runny, yeah.
And next thing you know, I have like, I've coated my taco in that. And I know Tabasco is not all that hot, but I also, my tummy doesn't like anything with real heat to it at all.
Right.
So my taste buds do, but my tummy doesn't. Yeah. And I was like, oh boy. So thank goodness it didn't wreck me, but it was good. The real sadness, and what the worst part was when you pour too much of that kind of sauce on something, you lose you lose some of that flavor of the like salsa verde that was on there, and
nuances.
Yeah, it kind of was like, well, this is a Tabasco taco now.
Yeah, the tacos were good, but I mean, it was basically just pulled chicken with salsa verde in a tortilla.
Yeah.
And I was kind of hoping for like a little, maybe like a fun sauce on it or something, or. Yeah. Like I'm kind of sad they were out of the jerkfish tacos because that sounded delicious to me, but.
Yeah.
I guess I have to get there earlier next time. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
shit, Brian, it's Taco Tuesday right now. Let's go.
Shit.
Actually, I had tacos for dinner, but I can eat more.
So? I was like, is there a limit on how many tacos you can have? I don't think so.
I mean, not legally.
All right. Boy, that'd be a mess, wouldn't it? You're just like cramming tacos in your face and whoop, whoop.
Yeah, fucking Taco Mafia shows up.
Sir, how many tacos have you had today? You just take off.
Let's not taco about it. They baton you to death.
Yeah. No, they shoot your knee, then baton you to death. That way you can't run.
No, that was a nice little evening, though. I mean, with the exception of going to the liquor store and having it be closed, and then going to the other liquor store and our buddy finding out he drove all the way there with his e-brake on.
Yeah. What was mind blowing to me, I thought it was just like a red rotor, because again, I've seen them in like some I've seen a couple of Challengers driving around. They're all black. They have like that little red Dodge stripe thing on them, and then the rotors are like red, basically, or something, or it looks like the rotors are red. Something inside the wheel, you know, and it's like I just thought it was something like that, and I was like, well, that's a little weird on the vehicle he's driving, but okay, you know. And then when he was like, no, that's hot, and I was like, oh,
and then you could just smell the burnt
they
brake
were
pad.
They were literally red hot.
I can't believe he didn't notice that, but whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah. I'm just glad he, you know, made it home okay.
All right.
There wasn't any complications or anything. You know, at least to get home.
I think the worst part is he was just like, I just like changed out all my brake pads and calipers.
Yeah.
From my experience, a lot of time, you know, if a caliper gets all hot like, or a rotor gets all hot like that, sometimes it fucks up that caliper.
Yeah. It wouldn't shock me if he's got to replace that.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do, right?
You know, pick up some beer and go have a cigar. That's what you're gonna do.
That's what we did. Grab some beers, just hung out on Chris and, you know, the patio furniture that we got. 'Cause I've sat out there a little bit. My mom sat out there a little bit, but we haven't really
had a proper hang.
Yeah, so now we have. You know,
we should do it more often. That was a good time.
Yeah, my neighbor had her children out there until like
what the fuck I saw your neighbor's whole ass cheek earlier that day too.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Jesus,
yeah,
what is going on over there,
dude? And after you left, those kids were still out there. They were running down the street like 4 houses down where they had like that basketball hoop. They were down there like playing, like shooting baskets at like almost 1 in the morning. Yeah. And the worst part was they're running in the street.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Which they do any time of the day. They don't look, they just go. And it's very scary because cars kind of come around the corner here pretty fast sometimes because they took out one of the speed bumps. And after doing that, you know, cars come through a lot faster. Yeah. And it's terrifying that one of those kids is going to get hit. I hope it never happens.
Right.
You know, but
at the same time, serve them right. Right, Brian? Serve them right.
I mean, yeah, but you know, but it, you know, like I said, they tempt fate a lot. So I hope it never happens, but
still serve them right.
Yeah.
Them kids.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, and then after you left, me and Steve had a nice talk, and, you know, while he finished up his stick, and, you know, I cracked open, I don't remember, it was 1 or 2 more beers, and, you know,
if it wasn't as late as it was, but I was like, man, I got to work.
Oh, I totally, you know, with it being a school, I fully didn't expect you to stay. I figured you'd stick around for about, you know, a stick and a beer.
It's like I brought like cigars that would have taken me like an hour to smoke, and I'm like, I can't. And then I'm glad Steve had a little fella for me.
Yeah, that dude's always. It's like he's such a Boy Scout when it comes to that. He's always prepared.
He's one of the most generous people I've ever met.
Totally.
You know?
It reminds you though of like how it used to be with T when he would always have like the box of booze or bag of booze in the back of his car.
His
wherever anywhere.
bag.
I could go drink. He's like, I got you.
Yeah, oh yeah, we got that. Oh yeah, but yeah, that was a nice night. I mean,
yeah,
it made me like go, oof, I need some more cigars. Actually, I got some, so we're good now. Actually, I just bought a cigar over the weekend that
and if not,
I really wanted to smoke. Because it's a cigar that's aged in a bourbon barrel, and I happen to have that bourbon, and I'm like, "What's a perfect pairing?" You know. But then I was like, we were doing stuff. We went to a Mud Hens game over the weekend. And I'm like, and I was already kind of drinking.
You just taken it with you and had it there.
I mean, if I was allowed, I would have. Like what? I'm attending a game like it's the 20s.
You know, it was funny. I was listening to Anything Better a week ago, roughly, with Paul Verzi and Bill Burr, and they were actually talking about that, how back in the day you used to be able to take a stick to the park with you. And Verzi was like, or one of them actually, might not have been Verzi, but one of them was like, they should have a smoking section at the ballparks.
They should.
And at first I was like, no, and then it was like, you know what? Like if it was a small enough section,
like out, like kind of out.
Verzi even said that he's like, it's got to be up in like the nosebleeds so that it's not going to ruin anyone else's day. Basically, you know, you kind of have it off to the side so that the wind will generally be blowing it out of the park, essentially. so you're not just wafting cigarettes or cigar smoke over everybody else.
Yeah.
And I was like, you could do that.
Oh yeah.
They won't, but they could.
I mean, I know you're not a partaker, and I understand why. But
I'm a very occasional partaker.
Yes, but it's like it's one of the most relaxing things I do, because it's almost you have to be, because you're like, I have this for like an hour. If I force it, I might throw up. So
it's
I'm
not
just
like
gonna
cigarette
sit.
People will like fire through those things in like 2 seconds.
So you just sit back and you enjoy it. It's nice. And
Yep.
It's like I was gonna have that one with the bourbon, but I'm like, we're going to a Mud Hens game. And I've already been like, had like whacked down a few beers earlier. I'm like, do I really want to have like, a couple fingers of bourbon now and then go downtown? No, I don't.
I mean, yes, but no.
But yeah, so I'm gonna get into that one probably this weekend. But, it was actually pretty slick because Michelle does real estate, so the title company, or not her title company because she doesn't have one, but a title company in town that she does a lot of business with was like, hey, do you want to go to a Mud Hens game? And so she asked me, she's like, oh, yeah, you want to go to a game? I'm like, yeah, sure, absolutely. Fuck, it was up in a suite.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so we're like hobnobbing with real estate folk, and it was, just drinks and food around them. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah. It's something I've wanted to do. I love Bill Burr talked about that too, how he was at a ball game and it was in a suite, and he was like, basically like, they got like filet and all this. And he's like, what am I going to sit there up with a steak in my lap eating filet? He's like, I got a couple of hot dogs. Oh, was it Dodger Stadium?
Well,
That's
or
whatever.
Have fillets. It was like sliders and mac and cheese, but still.
But he's like, he's like, I got a couple Dodger dogs. I got some peanuts and some beers, or no, he didn't have beer. I'm sorry. I forgot. He's sober. Yeah. But, and I just kind of laughed at that because I'm like, that's kind of how I would be too. I'd be like, yeah, you got steak, but I'm going to grab a couple of them hamburgers or hot dogs or something like that because I ain't trying to sit there and eat a steak at a ball game, like hot dogs and stuff. It's like, this is the element, because it's like when you go to the fair or there's certain things. Like if I go to a ball game, it's like I'd love to have a beer the whole time I'm there, but they're just too damn expensive generally. So I'll have one, maybe two. Same in the hockey game. I'll have one, maybe two, and then I'm done. But, at a baseball game, usually I'll grab, I might grab some peanuts or something along those lines. It's like, hey, this is like, it's kind of like, you go see a movie. I'm going to get that like disgusting butter popcorn here because I'm not having that at home. If I make popcorn at home, it's like lightly like buttered, and usually I have, I'll do it a different way, like a little Creole seasoning or just salt and butter, but it's just not the same as that fake butter they have at the things, like you got to go full out. And it's just, there's certain things that, it's kind of part of the experience when you go. It's like, yo, I got to get this. I got to get, like hot dogs, not so much anymore because I'm just not a big hot dog fan anymore. When I was a kid, though, we went to a ball game. It was
fucking hot dogs, yo.
Oh, I still will too. I'm just saying it's not necessarily my first choice. I might get something else instead. But, when I was a kid, or like unless I went to Tiger Stadium, because Tiger Stadium, since the Tigers were owned by the Ilitch family who owned Little Caesars, they always had Little Caesars pizza, which when I was a kid tasted a whole lot better than it does now. But
it's no longer the Wheel of Shame. Or, I mean, it was the Wheel of Shame.
Yeah. I was always like, yo, I got to get a pizza. And then, I got to get pizza at the ballpark. So, it was, like I said, part of the experience. You were like, I'm going to get a slice. I'm going to get, I didn't have beer when I was a kid, but, you got to get the like ridiculous cup. Yeah, you got to get that ridiculous cup that they always have with like the players on it or whatever the souvenir cup is at the time. Right. That's part of the gimmick, Yeah,
well, I just threw down on margaritas and Coronas.
Well, there's that. That's an
yeah, it was weird too because it was like we're sitting there like just bullshitting and watching the game, and then the lady who was, hosting things like, "Oh, hey, the dessert cart's coming." Like what? And there's like a big ass rolling cart out in the hallway just full of desserts. I'm like, oh, what do you want? Like, I guess what's this? Snicker cheesecake. Yeah, it sounds amazing.
Bullshit. There's only one dessert to have at a ballpark, and that's the fucking ice cream sundae and the helmet.
Well, they didn't offer that. That's
bullshit.
Brian, I hate to tell you, that's peasant dessert.
You should have tipped that cart right over.
We don't eat that up on the third row.
Like where the souvenir the souvenir helmets with ice cream.
If I would have thought it, I should have asked the dude. Like, you guys got ice cream sundaes and mud hens helmets?
Dude, I remember as a kid, that was like the thing. Every time I went, that was the one thing I wanted so bad.
Oh, yeah.
Every time. And I always wanted that. And it was funny because like Dairy Queen used to have them all the time. I don't know if you remember that. You know, it was like literally you get at Dairy Queen pretty much
it's not the same though. It's not the same when you're actually there.
But well, you could get mud hens ones at Dairy Queen. Exactly. In this area, you know, you were lucky even if you could get tigers or Indians in this area because those always sold out first because that's the area. You know, so many times I was like, yeah, I guess give me whoever.
What is this? The Minnesota Twins? I mean, I guess.
Yeah. Like, well, I guess it holds the ice cream. It's not the same.
It's going right in the trash when it's over.
Well, that was the thing. You think they would have just sent Indians and like Indians, Reds, and Tigers to our area?
I don't know, kid. We got Colorado Rocky hats. God damn it!
I remember the one time the woman, she was like, you know, what team do you want? And I was like, you don't have the teams I want. And she pulls one. She's like, how about the Yankees? And I'm like, I'd rather eat the ice cream off the ground.
Exactly. I'd rather you shit in that hat than put it on, you dumb bitch. Get out of here.
So then she was like, how about the White Sox? And I'm like, anything is better than the Yankees. So.
Oh, man. But yeah, I mean, I've been wanting to go to a game anyway because obviously last year we couldn't go. So it was cool. We left about the 8th inning because we wanted to go through the swamp shop, and then we had to walk to the car and whatever. But
dude, the last time I was at a ball game was with you.
It's been a while.
When your fucking Kia to it,
dude. Oh my god, I haven't had that car in a long time.
Right, Jen still worked at Owens Corning. That's been a long time ago. Because remember, we parked over in their parking lot. So
maybe what you're saying is we need to go to a ball game.
You know how much I love baseball, so I'm always down for a ball game. Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe we'll have to figure something out.
Plus, again, I'm straight out pulling from Verzi and Bill Burr, but it's like, is there anything better on a nice night than sitting at the ball game,
right,
having a beer, watching? I mean, for me, there's nothing better than sitting at the.
Like I said, mate, we'll have to look at the schedule, figure something out. I'm gonna be taking some time off of work coming up soon, so I'm just saying.
I'm down.
I'm just saying, Brian.
Every once in a while, like I'm catching the local sports and they're showing, and I'm like, God, look how nice that night looks out there. It's like, God, I wish I was sitting in that crowd. Well,
we head down a little early, get a good parking spot, maybe hit up some like home slice or some shit. Dude. Do a little pregame action,
or even afterwards hit home slice, whichever.
Either way, before the game we stopped at this little cocktail bar that opened up down there called Firefly. Bro.
Okay.
Shit was it's kind of on the pricey side, I'll be honest.
That's why it's familiar to me. That was the place that they opened during the pandemic. Yeah, I remember seeing they were opening, and I'm like, and they were like, we're gonna have pricier drink, and I'm like,
like
it's like,
we went in there and
read the report.
Yeah, read the room exactly. Like we went in there, it's pretty dope atmosphere.
It looked cool,
and
but
it's
I was
honestly
just like,
the best old fashioned I've ever had. Like,
really,
it was
the one with the flower.
Yeah, it had I wish I would have got the whole thing, but I was talking to my mom on the phone because it's a smoked old fashioned, so it comes out on a wooden plate that's like set alight, and then they put a glass dome over it, so it puts the fire out, right? Yeah. So the presentation is pretty cool.
Yeah,
and it was like I was telling Michelle, and I'm like, I think they went a little light on the booze. Because when I make an old fashioned, you could definitely, get a little feel to it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this thing is so smooth and delicious. I'm like, I think they went light on the bourbon. And then I started feeling a little buzzy. And I'm like, whoa, slow down.
Maybe they didn't go light on the bourbon.
I just think it's a very well made old fashioned.
Right. Well, that's cool.
And she got because she doesn't drink, so they have a bunch of mocktails. And it was like, I tried a sip of it, and it was honey, lavender, and ginger, and it was delicious.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's so smart, though, for so many reasons, because I love the fact that we're in a place now that if you're like the designated driver, you don't just have to drink water vodka, or not vodka. Yeah, you're DD drinking vodka.
I mean, water of life.
Yeah, I meant like seltzer and cranberry or something.
Well, it's like I was talking to my mom on the phone. I mean, her and I have been talking a lot lately. I was talking to my mom on the phone yesterday, And I was telling her about these, because my stepdad doesn't drink.
Right.
And I was telling her about how, like, I'm like, well, yeah, we keep going to these different bars and they have a cocktail menu and then they have a mocktail menu.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, it's so great. And then she's like, I was picking up a case of non-alcoholic wine because they found some that Chuck loves. So I should buy it by the case because my mom's insane. Yeah, well, she gets a discount. That's how she thinks.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
yeah, get it.
So,
it's just funny when you say that.
Yeah, I know, right? But she's like, so I'm waiting in line at this grocery store to get it, and there's a guy who's got 2 items. I'm like, go ahead of me. He's like, you only have like 2 items. She's like, well, I'm buying a case of wine. It's gonna take a while. And he's like, oh, and I love people that just throw out facts like this. He's like, oh, non-alcoholic wine. What's the brand? She tells her. And he's like, oh, my wife's an alcoholic. And he's like, but I found this non-alcoholic German beer that she loves. And he's like, so I go to Joseph's, which is a local beer and liquor store in Toledo area. So he's like, I go to Joseph's and I buy it 9 cases at a time. So she doesn't so she doesn't get plastered because she likes it so much. So I don't have the name. I'm gonna check it out this weekend. So I'm gonna go up there. But my mom's like, yeah. She's like, I bought some for Chuck. He loves it. She's like, I tried it. She's like, Heineken's got this weird. I'm like, it's skunky, Mom. She's like, yeah.
It is.
And she's like, it's this. It's like a flavor I don't like. But she's like, I really like it. And she's like, I'm gonna leave some in our fridge so you can try it. I'm like, oh, all right. Fair enough.
Cool.
So I don't know what the brand is, but I'm very curious.
Yeah.
But yeah, 9 cases at a time this dude buys.
I'm pretty sure it's Sober Brow.
I mean, that's a great name for it if it isn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it's just anyway, well, yeah, back to that old fashioned's delicious. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Right. I've had one smoked old fashioned. I don't remember. Me and Jen went somewhere and the place had them and it was good, but there's a reason I don't drink scotch.
Right.
And it's because I don't want all that smokiness. I generally kind of am more, I'm give me whiskeys and bourbons and stuff that have some smoke, but I don't want like the cigar smoke, like drink. And the one that I had, now again, that one, was too much smoke for me.
Well, I mean, if you want to, have an expensive cocktail, dude, that one at the Firefly is so good. At
least it doesn't make you feel as bad if it's good.
Yeah, no,
it
was worth for every penny.
Because we've all done that, especially if you've ever drank in any sort of a club. Yeah. You've overpaid for a bad cocktail at some place.
Oh yeah, I've definitely paid for shit before, but that was like I would get another one in a heartbeat. It was so good.
Right. Interesting.
There was a weird thing that happened too at the Mud Hens. To go up to the suites, you have to take an elevator, like they can check your ticket,
Yeah.
And they have all these signs everywhere telling people like, "Hey, women, you can't bring a purse. You have to bring a clutch."
Okay.
Right. Which whatever.
Yeah.
So we're waiting in the elevator, waiting to get on it, and there's like these old people behind, and I'm talking old. And there's a little old lady that's checking tickets, and she's just like, ma'am, like yelling at the old lady.
Yeah. Right.
And she's like, next time you come, you gotta bring a clutch. You can't bring a purse. And then the old lady, because no idea what's going on, she's like, I didn't bring a lunch.
Oh no.
And the woman's like, no, you gotta. And then this old woman's husband starts dressing this woman down. He's like, we've bought season tickets for the past 15 years. It makes this whole story unfortunate because then the doors closed. I didn't get to see what happened.
Yeah.
Is as we were leaving, we're like waiting for the elevator, and I look out the window, I'm like, oh shit, there's like a fire truck out there. That's fucked up. There's right across the street from a bar. The same bar where Zach went sideways in an umbrella and like they had a permanent wound to his leg.
Yeah.
On my birthday.
Right.
And then like an ambulance pulls up, and it's like we're going down the elevator and we're riding with a Mud Hens EMT or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's weird. And go to the swamp shop, walking out down the sidewalk, and then I look, and it's like the ambulance. They're loading somebody in the back of the ambulance. The little old lady's the dude's wife was climbing in the passenger seat. I'm like, oh shit! Did he work himself up to like a heart attack over everything?
Jeez.
I mean, he was a big dude and he was old.
Yeah.
And you could tell he was very irate that this old woman was yelling at his wife, which I get.
I get that, but also it's like, okay, this is something that like people need to fucking learn.
Yeah.
That just because you buy a lot from a place doesn't mean you're owed anything more than anyone.
That's very true.
Like, right? You buy your season tickets. You know what you're owed? Seats.
Season tickets.
Period.
Yeah.
You're not owed anything else. And, you know, from there, if you don't want to then keep buying tickets, that's on you. But you don't get to skirt the rules just because you're a season ticket holder.
Right.
That isn't how it works, you know? And it's like, no, the real question for me would have been like, well, if she's got a purse, do they just not let you in, or do they have a locker you can put the purse in? Because
I think it's one of those things where they're telling people like, hey, we know it's kind of early in the season still.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know. Because, I mean, it seemed like that's what happened there. Was
right.
like, when you come back, don't bring your purse.
Right. Because it's like,
and
I get
lunch.
It's yeah, it's for security reasons, I'm sure. It's easy to make sure people don't.
Meanwhile, I've got my pocket machete on me as I'm walking around the stadium.
Right. Yeah. I know it's nuts, but it's like I said, I'm sure it's, you know, for a variety. It's mainly for that reason, because otherwise they would need to, you know, they can and they can't. I don't remember exactly. I remember reading something about the rules on what they can and can't like actually search, but you know, they can make you put your bag through a metal detector or something like that. You know, like when you go to I can't think. Huntington Center.
Oh.
No, well, yeah, Huntington Center though too. You know, you got to put all your shit in one of those.
Well, because hockey fans
trays.
are fucking savages.
Oh, for sure. But even when me and T went and saw wrestling, which again, you know, savages.
Yeah.
But you know, you got to put all your shit in a tray, walk through the thing, then they give you your stuff on the other side. I don't remember I don't think they run your stuff through. I think they just run the wand over it basically. But you know, with us, it's no big deal because like there's a wallet and my cell phone and my keys.
Right.
You can see everything right there, you know, except for my you know, credit card size fold up gun that I carry in my wallet.
Yes, exactly.
It fires paper clips with a lethal velocity.
I mean, it sounds pretty sweet though, honestly.
Yeah, it's pretty complicated. It takes me about an hour to put together once I'm inside.
What movie was that?
You know, so I can create that. I don't know. I'm just.
You remember that movie when he like built a gun out of plastic, had Clint Eastwood in it?
Yeah, it's In the Line of Fire.
Yeah, there you go. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember at the time we were like, oh my God. And then people were like, yeah, that, you know, it does, but it doesn't really, you know, exist right like that. I don't know. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was an interesting evening.
Yeah.
To say the least.
No reason to work yourself up like that, man.
Right.
It's seriously.
I mean, it could have been just a happenstance, but the way he was going off, I mean.
Yeah. Well, he was pissed that his wife's got to bring a lunch next time.
Exactly.
We're paying for a suite. We shouldn't have to buy lunch too. It's like, sir, we said Clutch, not. I don't like them. I like old music.
I mean, Clutch is pretty sick though, bro. Give it a chance.
Yeah, he's too old. He's not gonna like it. If it's not Lawrence Welk, he doesn't want to listen to it. All right.
It's Lawrence Welk.
Yeah.
Oh, he's right.
So, last night, I finished up the final season of the Clone Wars.
The what?
The Clone Wars.
Oh, I
cartoon.
thought you said the clumps. I'm like, what are we talking about?
You know, that Eddie Murphy movie. Oh, Clone Wars. Dude, man, was that good.
Yeah.
The tense. The last 4 episodes of it are the ones that they had storyboarded when the final season. Remember how they were like, yeah, one more season's coming years ago. And then they were like, yeah, we're not actually going to put it out.
Right.
The last 4 episodes were all storyboarded and really roughly done because they focus on Darth Maul. And they ended up doing a comic book series instead.
Huh.
And those episodes were available on the internet. Like StarWars.com actually put up the non-finished, like the animation wasn't finished, but they still had all the sound and everything with it. So they were just going to look real rough. But anyway, those episodes, whew, I thought before when they did like there's the Yoda episodes of that series where he goes on a quest
Right.
to like find himself or whatever. Those are freaking brilliant episodes.
Brilliant.
And the final few episodes of this season, this whole season was good, but the final few episodes with Darth Maul and Ahsoka are, oh my God, good. And dude, it's like this is a spoiler, but not a spoiler, because if you know Star Wars lore, you know Order 66,
66, Mish.
right? Which I guess if you don't know and you don't care, spoilers for someone who doesn't, it's where the clones are directed by Palpatine to execute all the Jedi. And it's also around the time when Anakin slaughters the Jedi Council, save for Yoda and Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan's off chasing Grievous, and I don't remember how Yoda gets away, but Yoda isn't there or something.
I don't recall.
Yeah. So yeah, dude, they show a scene. Sorry for spoiling this, but so like they show a scene where like Commander Cody, like when Palpatine tells him, to execute them. And he like pulls the gun on Ahsoka, and just you're like, oh shit, because you're like,
yeah,
like what the fuck. And she's standing in like the front of the ship before this, and she like can just sense a disturbance in the Force, and she hears all the voices of the like Jedi Council as Anakin is slaughtering them. And it's like, holy fuck. They don't show it, but it's so powerful even without showing it. It's chef's kiss. So good. So, like I said, even with me just telling you that, you're still, when you watch it, you're still gonna be like, holy shit, this is, it's fantastically done though.
Right.
So now I can start either Bad Batch or Mandalorian season 2. I haven't decided which one I'm gonna start next.
Mandalorian season 2.
Probably. Dude, it was so tense though.
Been a while since I've done that.
Yeah. It was tense enough for me, the final few episodes and stuff. Like, Ahsoka trying to get away from a ship full of clone troopers.
Right.
Like on the ship with them, trying to get away from them when all of them are like, hey, we have to kill her.
Like, hey guys, did you hear that order?
Yeah. So it was so tense that I had to put on I forgot what I turned on afterwards, but I'm like, man, I need something to kind of calm me down a little. Yeah, dude, that would have been the move.
That's my move when I'm like sick and I need to sleep. Bob Ross.
Yeah, that's a good move.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, even if you're awake watting it, I ain't mad at watching it either.
Did you hear my shoulder just snap like a fucking firework? Oh my God. That was gross.
Yeah, pretty rough there, sir. Yikes.
I made some beer cocktails this weekend.
Beer cocktails.
Well, I made one today, but I made the other one yesterday.
Okay.
So I watched, and Dev's one that really Diamond Top fan, Big Dev, turned me on to How to Drink, a YouTube channel. He did one about beer cocktails, and he talked about shandies and radlers, right?
Oh, right.
So I didn't have the right beer to make the proper radler, but it's like basically ginger beer and an ale.
Okay.
But I had a wheat beer, so I tried that today. It's okay, but I didn't. It's not the right beer, so maybe it's the right beer. But Brian, I made a shandy with Oberon, which is a nice citrusy wheat beer, and then lemonade. Oh my goodness!
I could see where those would pair
Holy
really
shit!
Nice.
It's very good and very dangerous.
Awesome.
Oh no, it's not. It is. I wish I never would have unlocked that door in my brain because I know it exists now.
Right. Right. Yeah.
It was so.
Yeah, because now there'll be some point where you're like, what I should do.
Yeah, I mean, I have a jug of lemonade in my fridge, and I have 4 more Oberons.
Sounds like a plan.
So what I'm saying is, yeah, no, it was good.
Now, do you just like pour Oberon into like a pint and then top it with the lemonade, basically, or vice versa?
Yeah, that's like I filled it was probably my mix is basically like 3/4 Oberon Oberon into a pint glass and then just topped it off with lemonade.
Okay, that's kind of what I figured, but wasn't sure. I didn't figure it was half and half. So.
I'll include a link to the video.
Nice,
you know?
Nice. Yeah.
Oh, you think it'd come up when you Google how to drink?
It's just a video with somebody like putting glasses to their face,
basically
teaching people literally how to drink out of a glass.
I mean,
for those who have drinking problems.
The old drinking problem. Whoa, that is loud. Stop it. Stupid ads. Sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. It's like really scary good.
Like it.
You shouldn't like it.
Yeah, I should. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I got the video up briefly so people see it. No noise though, no audio, because we're not getting taken down on the YouTubes.
Yeah, I hope not.
Right. But yeah, it's oof, dude. Like I'll have to make you one sometime.
All right, I ain't mad at that. That's for sure.
If you want to be refreshed.
And who doesn't? That's why I chose to drink one of these shandies I have.
There you go.
Here tonight, because I was thinking about drinking a sody pop, and then I was like, no, I'm gonna have one of those. It's warm in here. It's perfect type of beer for. That's the one thing, like I don't want a shandy in like December.
I agree.
Get out of here with that. But in the summer, dude, I remember when we used to like hang with Don quite a bit, and I remember he used to get the Leinenkugels.
Yeah, he was Mr. Summer Shandy himself,
dude. But on a hot day, those things hit the spot. I mean, it's hard to argue with.
It is refreshing. I mean, I'll be honest. It's like
when we were out on Tuesday, last week, and I was like, I'm looking at the boards going, man, what's refreshing on here? And then for some dumb reason, I'm like, oh, the black IPA. And,
I mean, kind of refreshing, right?
Not as much, but,
no, actually.
It was good. Just, yeah, wasn't what I would call refreshing. But they were definitely good.
That's definitely, I'm a seasonal beer drinker myself because I enjoy the shandies and the wheats when it gets hot out, and less of the stouts and stuff. Although occasionally, like when we did cigar night, I found that Dark Horse Plead the Fifth. I haven't had that in a while. I was like, man, that's gonna pair nicely with a cigar.
Sure.
And then I ended up smoking a cigar that was like fruity flavored. Which probably would have been great with a shandy.
Yeah, which would have probably. Yeah, true.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Hey, I'm an asshole. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, this shandy I think is built exactly for me because two of my favorite things. I love blueberry flavored things, and I love lemon flavored things.
Right.
Plus, again, man, if you came at me and it was a hot day and you were like, "Yo, I made some blueberry lemonade," I'd be like, "Give me all of that."
I'd be like, "Yo, man, I also include a bunch of vodka in it."
Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't be mad at that either. In fact,
I'm kind of sad to admit this, but you know what? I've been going down the list, trying flavors of
what?
Bang energy drinks. That's right. I said Bang energy drinks.
What was that? Things froze.
Right. Bang energy drinks.
No, don't drink those. That's like the Instagram influencer energy drink.
But it's got creatine in it, Brian.
Those should be discouraged heavily so that we can put an end to.
And they're way cheaper than a Monster.
Well, that makes sense.
Have you ever seen the Bang CEO? He's terrific.
No. Oh, yes, I have. We talked about this once before. Yeah, I have.
He looks like a real doucher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I pretty much figure if you own an energy drink, you're probably, I say that now and then, like, if I ever met The Rock and he was like, so I heard you made some comments about energy drink CEOs.
I mean, I would love to have a salty language energy drink. It's just fucking salty as shit.
It's the worst. Yeah.
No, I've been like I don't mind a good energy drink. I need a little pick me up sometimes at work.
Yeah.
It's 0 sugar, that old thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right, let me try this. And the first one I had was that peach mango. And I'm like, that's actually pretty tasty. I'm like, all right, I'm not mad at this. And I tried another one, and it was garbage. And I tried another one, it was garbage. And I tried another one, I was like, oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
So I just picked up.
That's always the problem with those energy drinks is like it seems like, what do you think? Probably 80% of a line's flavors are garbage, and there's like one to three that are like,
well,
or one or two that aren't bad, and then there's one that's like, this is really good.
well, it's like, and their flavors are weird because they're like cotton candy.
God,
unicorn jizz or whatever.
that's your favorite one, I'm sure.
Fuck
right?
Yeah. But I just picked up a lemon drop because I was like, oh, they have a lemon one, all right, and a key lime pie.
Okay.
I have a feeling they're both going to be garbage, but they're just kind of like hanging out in my lunchbox for when I need a little shot in the arm,
Well, you never know though, because like that, the lemon one. I mean, think about that. Was it Rockstar, right? Or that has the recovery one? That's
yeah.
That's pretty tasty. Like that's one I will drink. There aren't many I'll drink. That's one I get. I get the no sugar one because I can't drink the
full sugar ones are the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't handle them. I'm too old for that shit.
No,
if I was 20, I could probably handle them, but not now.
Yeah, I'm with you. If it was like I accidentally bought a full sugar Monster, I'm pretty sure I talked about it here, but
yeah,
and it was like I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah,
and it's not even, it's all the sugar.
That's the desired effect. That's how you're supposed to feel.
I mean, I guess I don't know. Yeah, it was rough, buddy.
Right?
Yeah.
Shit. So I was reading last night. I don't know if you saw this or not, but it was I think it was kind of announced yesterday that former wrestler Terry Funk. Have you seen what's going on with him?
Oh, geez. No,
he's in like hospice care, and he's got pretty bad dementia, I guess. Which,
well, if you get hit in a chair as a living,
dude, I know, right? Like if you follow his career, he's known for a lot of hardcore matches. Yeah. He had a lot of them with Mick Foley, and he's just in his brothers, and they've trained a ton of wrestlers through their schools and stuff and all that. And it's just like, it sucks because it reminds you of seeing some of the old football players.
Right.
Back when it was like, oh, you got your bell rung? Here's some Tylenol. Get back out there, champ.
Get back out there.
And it's and a lot of these wrestlers from that era, especially the hardcore ones, like the Funk Brothers and whatnot, or you look at them as they've aged, and you're like, God, I hope they don't. You were hoping they don't end up like this, and and it's like, man, it's so sad because he's cut some crazy ass promos over the years. He's always a guy that when I first saw him, I'm like, why is this old guy out here wrestling?
Right.
I don't know if you remember that run he had in WWE when it was him and Foley together, and they went against like the New Age Outlaws, and they were and it was like, why is he here? And it's like, because he made the New Age Outlaws look like $1 million. That's why he was out there,
exactly.
And it was because even though he was getting older, he could still go and still do all the things that he was known for doing. But also it's like, now it's like, at what, it's sad. I hate to see anybody go through dementia, because especially for the families too.
Absolutely. I mean, I watched my grandma go through it, and it was horrible.
And yeah, I've been around a few people going through it, and it sucks. So, and the guy's a legend in the business, but it's so, like, I've seen a bunch of wrestlers posting stuff about, wisdom or whatever over the years, and it's like, God, it's so sad to see anyone go through it, and then let alone somebody who was, like I said, just kind of seen as a legend in his craft. But also, I think it really is one of those things where it's like, as the years go on and we know more and more about concussions and all that kind of stuff, I am so much more uncomfortable with a lot of crap in wrestling. I'm so glad that like WWE doesn't allow headshots with chairs anymore, especially after seeing that Rock Mankind. Remember that in the empty arena where the hit him like 13 times in the head when he had his hands, when he was handcuffed.
Right.
Put it, even because anyone who knows, like, wrestling, they still tend to get their arm up a little bit for a head chair shot, so they deflect it a little bit. But he was taking him clean, and fuck, I can't I just feel like Mick Foley's going to be in the same state down the road, and I hope he's not.
I mean, you're probably not wrong, unfortunately.
Because he took so
much damage,
headshots, and yeah, it's just, and I know I've read some stuff where he's already experiencing some stuff with like memory loss and whatnot from all the concussions, and it's just, I hate that was seen as a way of paving the road.
Yeah, exactly, right.
And I hope guys are smarter about it now, even though I've seen some other wrestling promotions still allow for chair shots to the head and stuff. And I'm like, dude, this should be right out across the board.
Right.
Like it's bad enough when they, you run the risk just doing the business. Like last week on NXT, there was a match between two women, and this woman does like a spinning heel kick, basically. And dude, she caught the woman right on the button, knocked her out. Like legit knocked her out. You could tell when she fell, it wasn't the normal wrestling and falling.
It was just the sack of bones fall.
She dropped, and when she barely was able to get her arm up to defend herself afterwards. And I'm like, from watching enough UFC, it's like, oh fuck, she's out.
Yeah.
And they stopped the match because she was legit couldn't defend herself, really. Like it was weird though, because the woman pinned her and she still had enough wherewithal to kind of kick out. She barely got her arm up, but it was like you could tell her lights were just starting to come back on, basically. It was like, fuck. Like I said, and that woman throws that kick all the time and doesn't knock people out because normally they hit them in the neck or you hit them high in the chest, so it sounds great.
Titties.
Right, and in full speed, it looks like you're kicking him in the chin, basically.
Yeah.
But the angle was just wrong, and she caught her just clean in the chin, and just like I said, just boom, flipped the switch. It was, and like that's a concussion. She had to go to the hospital, and the woman got a concussion out of it. And you've seen concussions end careers in that, business, and not to mention you never know. Each one that you get, you don't know what part of your future you might be mortgaging with the next one.
Right.
So
can I tell you my favorite Terry Funk moment, by the way?
Yes.
It's not going to be what anyone thinks. It's not going to be a match. It's nothing like that.
Oh, okay.
It's because he was at the panel where the fucking wrestling guy broke down. I want to thank each and every one of y'all. Still real to me, damn it.
Yeah.
And Terry Funk's like, take it easy, man.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite moments ever.
Yeah.
Take it easy, man.
Yep.
I want to thank each and every one of y'all. I love that guy.
It is, yeah. It's amazing, Colt Cabana, who's a wrestler in AEW, and he's known more for being an indie wrestler than anything. And he had one of the first wrestling podcasts out. And he's got a new one on called Wrestling Anonymous, where people call in and they can tell wrestling stories, and then he kind of talks about the story a little bit, and there's been some great stories on these, and it's so cool because so many people have talked about, how they bonded over wrestling with their dad or their grandmother or whatever it is. And there's so many stories where people have really bonded over the same way a lot of people would maybe when they were kids sat with their dad or grandpa and watched like baseball or something like that and bonded over that. Baseball was one of the things where me and my my mom's stepmom, so my step grandma, where her and I bonded was she loved watching the Tigers. And I'm not a Tigers fan, but I love baseball. So we would literally sit if I was at her house and the game was on. You weren't allowed to talk.
You shut your goddamn pie hole.
Yeah, but it was like we'd sit and watch baseball. Once it was over, you can talk. Like, we're going to talk about this game and all the nuance and whatever, So it was a really cool way I bonded with her, and I have heard stories so many times, people with that with wrestling, So I get it's still real to me, damn it,
Still real to me, damn it.
Because even now, I mean, if somebody attacks it, I will still defend it. I'm not ashamed that I like pro wrestling at all, especially not in this age when, good Lord, it's like my answer always now is like, what do you watch? Like, let's hear
hardcore pornography.
Well, I mean, that's fine. But, it's like, do you only watch educational documentaries? Because if you don't, You know, if you watch one bit of reality television, I'm going to go hard at it because it's no worse. It's no worse than any of that shit.
I mean, you're not
You know?
wrong.
Yeah.
No.
So, but anyway, yeah. But still, you know, overall, like I said, it's just sad to see any of these guys go through this, because when they were first doing it, they didn't know the end result would be what we know now, where, you know, you can end up with like CTE and you know, or dementia or whatever. I mean, I think dementia they've probably known for a long time that you can. I mean, obviously, you know, you keep getting mushed in the brain. It's like, hey,
yeah, that brain don't mush back real well.
Right. After a while, your brain's just, you know, like, because there's, you know, it's been so bruised and damaged over the years. But it's still always sad, you know. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Terry Funk fan in the world, never have been, but he was also a little more before my.
Yeah, I mean, he was ancient, basically.
Well, I don't even want to say before my time as much as he was from a genre I didn't get into for a long time.
Right.
You know, because even like it wasn't until like ECW that I started seeing any like hardcore stuff, because WWE never had any of that until after ECW. You know, yeah.
I kind of missed ECW days. I got a oddly targeted Facebook ad over the weekend.
Right.
It's for micro wrestling, and it's outside of Columbus, and it's basically just midget wrestling.
Okay.
I don't know, Brian. I kind of want to go. It's on a weekend. I have Leah, and I was like, "Is this something you might be interested in going?" She's like, "Yeah."
Now I have to ask, and this is full seriousness: is the whole card like little people? Because what I hate is when they like use little people as like, oh, hey, we're also gonna have a, you know, whatever match. It's like, if the whole card's that way, it's much cooler, because that generally means it's a like an actual promotion where there's like legit wrestling, you know?
I mean,
because I hate when
I think that's
it's seen. I mean, I know in the end it's still similar to like a freak show kind of a concept, but it doesn't have to be. You know, there are good little people wrestlers out there, so it could be really good wrestling. But I have less hope for that when there's only like one match on the card, because now I feel like it's, you know.
I mean, it says according to us, they do 200 shows a year from coast to coast. They're out of Pigeon Forge. That's where they originally come from. Of course, there's one of the guys. He's dressed like a leprechaun.
Oh, wait, is it Swoggle?
What?
Is it Swoggle?
I don't know. I'm just looking at a roster shot.
Well, because the reason I'm asking is, if so, that dude was in WWE and also in a Leprechaun movie.
I mean, I don't.
Okay, just.
I mean, there's I have the website pulled up for the video, folks. They have the home, then they have Micro TV, of course, and Micro Chat, of course. Heavy Metal Mario, I'm not mad at that. Pigeon Forge tour dates more. Like I was trying to see if they had like a roster or something, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
wow, yeah, guest is under 5 feet tall. Interesting.
I mean, I'm curious for sure. I thought it was so odd. I'm like, why am I getting targeted by this? I don't really look at wrestling stuff, but maybe I kind of do for the show.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
I can tell you why, Tony, and it's because they know you like to watch micro wrestling.
I mean, I'm not mad at it. You know?
It is interesting. Yeah. All right, I'm trying to find the one where you said the guy looks like a leprechaun. That doesn't look like Swoggle.
All the way down at the bottom of their page. Yeah, I know it's very.
Yeah, I see. Oh my God, there's Heavy Metal Mark.
Anybody that's listening,
yeah,
just surfing a midget wrestling website. So yeah, I don't know if this is something I'm actually doing or not, because. Well, one, I can't imagine Leah's mom would be super pumped to find out I was taking her midget wrestling.
Dude, if you do this, how much are tickets, does it say?
I don't know.
All right. Dave,
Well, I kind of want a Heavy Metal Mario shirt, though.
You gotta let me go to this with you.
All right, the merch is pretty great.
Because
Y'all need baby Jesus. I support micro-violence.
that's awesome. I like that.
I'm not opposed to the merch.
Wow, that's a pretty good frog splash that guy just did. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know how much the let's see if I can find out.
Wow. Shit, they go through like tables and stuff. Oh man, that's.
Indianapolis, Elwood, Indiana.
I will say this: there's only one time that I was really like with the gimmick thing with little people that I was okay with it. That was, dude, for WWE they did a Wii LC match instead, like a TLC match.
Yeah.
And it was Swoggle versus a guy named El Torito, and they
El Dorito?
No, Torito.
Oh.
They had like little ladders, and dude, it was meant to be comedy, but those two fucking put on a show.
Right.
Like they went out and legit wrestled, and they put on a good match, which was awesome to see. Because of course WWE is like, oh, we got a little guy, so clearly he's got to be a leprechaun and do leprechaun things because he's short.
Well, naturally.
So when they brought, they put him and El Torito in that match, and I was like, oh, that was so awesome.
All right, I'm finding out how much tickets are.
All right. Oh my God.
Let's see here. Oh well, if anyone's watching this video, they just got my email.
Finally, I have it.
Oh, they're gonna email me the info. That's bullshit. I want to know now.
Wow, you would think they would just tell you, but
All
all right.
right. I guess I just gotta wait a little bit.
Ooh. Ooh, boo.
So yeah, this might be a thing.
All right, where's the merch at? I can't find the merch.
I believe it was under more.
Of course. Why wouldn't it be under merch?
Yeah,
You think
I
you
know.
would have a merch tab?
Yeah, no, their website's not the greatest. It's not the greatest.
Yeah.
It could be a little bit better. Hey,
You know what's making me angry right now is that I keep setting you up for these, and I'm not meaning to.
I know. I think it's hilarious.
Just go down.
Thank you for registering for. Okay, I registered, but I want to know how much tickets are you, son of a bitch.
$2 million.
Yeah, this is. I don't even understand. Maybe it's one of those things that as it gets closer, maybe it's so far out because it's in September.
Oh, yeah, that could be why. I enjoy that. I support micro-violence shirt.
I know, right? So I'm not mad at this.
Yeah.
Oh shit, this is in Dayton, Ohio. That's even further south than I thought.
But it said Columbus on the website.
I thought so too, but the place they're saying is called JD Legends.
That's not the place they've listed on the website. That's a different venue.
Really?
I forgot what it was called on the website. Yeah.
You bastards. Oh my God. They're going to have at JD Legends, Brian, they're going to have Blues Traveler. That's hilarious.
All
They're
right.
going to have the Kentucky Kid, I think it said, and it's a Kid Rock cover band.
Oh, God. That sounds terrible.
The Red Knot Chili Peppers. I
don't
Bret
like it.
Michaels. Okay, we're getting out of there. All right, that's enough of that.
That just cracked me up because you're just like, here's all these like fake or not fake, but like cover bands. And you're like, and Bret Michaels, like, oh,
Yeah, okay.
unless he was the headliner and then the rest were like that was the rest of the card, then it would make more sense. But if he's just there by himself, it's like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. Like you just want to go to JD Legends and get some of their like banging wings or something, and you're like, oh fuck, Bret Michaels is tonight.
Yeah, it's like I guess
I'm
not.
just here for wings. I don't give a shit about your whatever you're doing.
Yeah, like when are you playing Every Rose Has Its Thorn? I'm out after that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm here for every rose, and then seriously, I'm dipping.
Yeah.
I don't remember what other songs he sang. I know he sang other ones.
Well, anything by Poison.
Yeah, I know.
So
I'm drawing a blank on Poison songs. I'll be honest.
Look what the cat dragged in. Talk dirty to.
Oh God, of course, talk dirty to me.
Yeah.
How could I forget Unskinny Bop?
No. Wait, yeah, that was
Yep,
Poison,
yep.
wasn't it?
I'm looking.
Jesus, I thought that was one of those other 80s bands, but no, you're right. That's Poison. Yep.
I'm looking, Brian.
Oof.
Oh, yeah. And give me something to believe in.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
How about I believe in these JD Legend wings? Get off the stage. Boo.
I just picture Tony's writing up his review for the night. You know, it's like the best thing about the night wasn't Bret Michaels or his receding hairline, but it was the wings.
I got the all drums with the unskinny bop sauce.
Was totally worth paying the $25 cover charge just for those wings.
Yeah, it was nothing but a good time. Am I right, guys?
Jeez.
If there's one thing I got to say about JD Legends, I won't forget you.
Oh, shit.
I think I'm out of Poison songs, although I have a list in front of me.
All right.
Let me tell you, though, after those JD Legend wings, about 5 hours later, I was riding the wind. Am I right?
I don't even remember that song, but
I'm just looking at a list of songs.
I just picture a video for it with like all the members of Poison on motorcycles, and they all still have their instruments, you know, pretending to play while riding their motorcycles.
Like you do.
As you do,
Yeah,
you know.
Indeed.
With some great, great effects that show the top of the line cinematography of that era.
Exactly.
Oh, dude, speaking of, so the other night I ended up getting caught up watching the A&E biography on Garth Brooks.
Oh, all right. How'd that go?
And it was really good. Like I've always he's one of the few like country acts I've ever found tolerable.
Right.
So, anyway, it was just funny watching it because they showed, they were showing the controversy around when the Thunder Rolls song came out because it was about, an abusive relationship.
Right.
And they're showing the video, and oh my God, the guy in the video looks like he's wearing the worst wig. And I don't think it's a wig. I just think it's how guys wore their hair in the 90s. And I'm sitting there going, God, this is such a heavy video, and I just can't stop laughing because this guy looks so ridiculous. And you 100% can look at that video and go, that is in the 90s. Like, zero question about it. 100% that's from that era,
Right.
And the controversy of it was that, it was such a heavy subject that, different people were like, meh, he shouldn't do this, meh,
I'm sad.
'cause, yeah. And it was like, or he's a storyteller and he's telling a story, and
right.
MTV quit playing the video and all this stuff, but then a bunch of abuse survivors were like, thank you for giving a voice to what we've gone through, basically. And then all of a sudden MTV was like, well, maybe we'll play it now. See,
well, I mean, I guess maybe. Why not, eh?
Yeah. So, but the best story I thought on there was one I didn't know about, was the year he sang the national anthem before the Super Bowl. Part of the deal was that his video for We Shall Be Free was supposed to be played beforehand.
Oh, Jesus. I'm watching a video right now.
For Thunder Rolls?
Dude's hair is fucking stupid. I mean, I'm not trying to be that guy, but how could anyone be abused by him? You see his hairdo? It's
pretty awful. Please include the link to that.
I shall.
Because this just popped in my head as we were talking here. Anyway, part of the deal was that he was supposed to get, his video played, and they didn't think about it in the negotiating. His video was a 4-minute video.
Right.
That was going to be played right before the Super Bowl.
I mean, that's a good place to be.
Yeah, but think of how much money that would cost.
Oh, yeah, right.
Right? How much revenue NBC would be losing because NBC had it that year. And basically, it got like before the game, and they were kind of like not playing it, and he was all geared up to go out to sing, and they weren't playing it. So basically, I'm assuming it was his agent, but he kept making it sound like it was him, but I'm guessing it was his agent doing it or whatever.
Right.
And they were basically like, hey, you play this video or he's leaving. Like, he's not gonna play.
Leave like the guy in the video is leaving right now.
Right. It's like that was the agreement, is you play his video, then he, he goes out and sings.
Right.
And so NBC started like hitting up celebrities that were at the game that were kind of like, hey, would you like to go sing the national anthem, because we may not have someone to sing it. And at one point, like, he had literally gotten himself back in his street clothes and was like about to head to a cab. He was gonna leave.
Wait, he doesn't look like Garth Brooks all the time? This is bullshit.
No. Wait. He always looks like Chris Gaines. He just puts on the Garth Brooks persona for
concerts. I should have known.
Right. So he he literally like gets a message from NBC, or his manager does, that's like, oh, hey, look, your video's on.
It's crazy, guys.
Because this was like 15 minutes before go time. Right. And he called their bluff on it, basically. So they played his 4-minute video. I'm surprised they weren't like, yo, this is a long ass video. We need you to cut this down.
He's like, nah, I'm Garth Brooks.
Yeah, like, we're going to need you. Let's meet somewhere here, because we're talking a lot of money in ad revenue we're giving away here.
Right.
But also at the time, I mean, you think about him back in those days, he was the biggest fucking show on the planet. True. Like they said, they were showing like, his Central Park concert where they had, what was it, like 820,000 people or something like that there. It's like, wait, that's insanity.
I'm trying to figure out, because I've never watched this video, and I've been like watching you, and I just looked over. There's another woman that he's currently beating in front of a child. Yeah. So that must be his wife or something.
Yeah,
who was the blonde in the beginning, or is he cheating on this chick with the other chick? Is that what's going on here?
I don't remember, because they didn't show the whole video the other night. They just were showing quick snippets of it, so I don't remember the narrative in the video.
Yeah, like,
I also remember the lyrics of the song, if that helps.
Yeah, well, it's like there was a blonde in the beginning, and he had like a suitcase, and he's like ripped it out of her hands, and she's crying, and then she's like, oh, now she's drinking alone in bed, and I'm assuming dude just dead now, because the thunder rolled and the lightning struck, and a tree branch went through the window, and she had a gun.
Right. I'm pretty sure those were the lyrics of it. Yeah. No. I think that's I think that's what happens. I think one of those women, kills the guy because he's a piece of shit. Clearly,
But I mean, what's with the other chick? Why is she even in the thing? I mean, it could have just been him driving home just to like beat on her, and then Oh, and then he teleported in front of the house and looked at the camera like, "Yup, y'all see that shit? That's what happens when you hit a woman. Yeah, she shoots you in the face."
Yeah, they really went after.
They did. I didn't know he had magical teleportation powers.
I did not either. Yeah, I had forgotten about how much controversy there was around that video, though, because it was like, I remember, like Metallica for Enter Sandman had a bunch, and also obviously, Pearl Jam with Jeremy.
Right.
A lot of controversy surrounding them and whatever. And I remember them not getting played as much, or I think the Metallica one, I think MTV only played like at night or something like that, which makes sense,
Yeah.
With it. No.
Say your prayers, like, little one, after all.
Yeah, right. The Lord's Prayer's in there. So, it's like, hey, right before bed, play some Metallica. Rest.
Exactly.
Yeah. It was really interesting, though. Like, I forgot, like, he took 14 years off. Like, he retired in, like, 2000 because he said he was talking with one of his daughters, and she said she was referring to something, and she said both. Like if it was, like, instead of saying both, she said it like it was spelled BOLTH.
Then he proceeded to beat her, and then she shot him.
Right. No.
Tree
and he was like, no. That was just in the video, Tony. He was like,
this is real life.
No.
Still real to me, damn it.
He's like, where'd you learn that? And she was like, from the nanny. And he was like, and I realized right then I didn't know my daughters, not Fran Drescher.
That's when he beat the nanny.
Right.
Nanny shoots him, tree branch through the window.
No, she didn't shoot him. Rolls. She didn't shoot him. She shot the other guy.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Chris Gaines?
Yeah. There were a lot of people that wanted to.
For sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of hate around that. But it was, he realized basically, though, he was being a shitty father.
Right.
and decided to take time off to go be a good dad. And I was like, and I'm sitting there and I was like, well, I'm sure that decision was a lot easier given the fact that he had already made all the money in the world.
Well, yeah, it's like, oh, now I could be an awesome dad because I have a mattress of millions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he was still on top of the game at the time. You know, I mean, there's a lot of money left out there, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But he took those 14 years off, raised his daughters, and then finally, you know, his
Kicked him out
current
of
wife,
house, tree branch.
no. His current wife, one day, I think she said, which is Trisha Yearwood, who's another country singer.
Of course she is.
She basically, I think, saw that he was just putzing around the house, kind of.
And then the thunder rolled, the lightning struck. Tree branch shoots
She
him.
was probably more likely like, please get the fuck out of this house.
I'm so sick of seeing your big fat face. Why do you always wear that bedazzled hat everywhere? Get out of here.
Right. And they, like when they put tickets back on sale for, you know, his first tour and stuff, it was like, dude, they sold like, I forgot, like 400,000 or 500,000 tickets.
I believe it.
You know, in like no time. Now, granted, when he came back, scalping was a whole different beast than it was, you know, because of Ticketmaster and online sales and all that. But still, he was selling like crazy. It was funny though, because they showed he went through like a self-doubt period where he was like, man, is anybody going to want to come see me? And I'm like, I can't believe he'd even question that. It's like people haven't been able to see the guy that
head.
Yeah, right. It's like, well, people were, you know, if Metallica took 14 years off and then they were like, hey, we're touring again, who wouldn't want to go see him, right? You know, it's like,
fuck those guys. They disappeared.
Well, perfect example would be Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
They absolutely didn't tour as that group, you know, with Axl and Slash both in the lineup for years and years and years. And the second that tickets went on sale, it was like, holy shit, and they blew out. You know,
here comes Axl Rose.
Anyway.
Looks like he was, had makeup done by Boris Karloff or whatever. Or was Boris Karloff the actor? I don't recall.
He was the actor. Karloff was the actor.
Oh, shit. I don't remember who the makeup guy was. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
he looked like
guy.
shit. That's all I'm getting at.
Yeah, but they still sold tickets.
I know.
And I do remember you and I like casually throwing the idea around of throwing some money at them to go see him.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Silly us.
Still feel like we made the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, probably.
Yeah. The time for us to have seen them would have been when they were touring with Metallica. They played Toledo. That would have been the time.
Yeah, that would have been the time.
When they were at their peak and Metallica was, you know, Metallica at the time.
I mean, we were foolish.
Silly Utes.
I know, right? Goddamn fools.
Yep. Yep. Damn. Yep.
Yep.
All right. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's all I got. You got anything else?
Nah, brah, I'm spent.
All right. Let's do us a QoftheW then.
The old Q to Dubs. Last week we asked y'all, what is something that everyone should experience once in their life?
Every time you say
it, huh?
Like I hear you say that, and I just start thinking of Stevie Wonder at that point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, song where he's like, "For once in my life." Anyway, I'm moving on. I'm no Stevie Wonder.
Where's Stevie wondering that? You got nothing. Diamond Top Fan, Big Dev.
You're reaching too far, Tony. Like,
nah, I can't help it.
You've already scraped that bottom shelf.
So Diamond Fan, Big Dev. He says, this piss poor excuse for a healthcare system. That is the American system. But for real, a multi-course meal prepared by a top chef or an 18-plus-year-old Scotch. I mean, I'm not mad at that.
No, nor am I, sir. Nor am I.
That's all we got on a face page, believe it or not.
Damn it.
But we're going to shift gears. We're going to go over to the Instagrams. Got a couple more over here. So we got past enthusiast guest, Philip, says working retail or service industry.
Oh, that's a great answer.
Yes.
He's so right with that. Everybody should experience that so they know what it is like to be shit on for no money.
Right.
And you just get served shit sandwiches all day and you have to eat them and still deal with the assholes who the customer's always right bullshit.
Right, exactly.
Oh, that's a great answer. Well done, sir.
Bruce 994499. He says a 5-pound smallie, and I assume by his profile picture it means a smallmouth bass. Which, I mean, catching bass
Yes,
is fun.
he does.
I mean, I have to admit it. And then Michelle, she says, seeing monolithic places in nature that cause you to immediately realize your minuscule place in the universe, like the Grand Canyon, the Redwood Forest, or on a clear nighttime sky. Everyone should have that moment when they see outside themselves and just remember they're just a blip in the world.
Or like Butter Jesus.
Yes. Definitely Butter Jesus. But that's what I got over here.
Goodness. Well, we don't have an answer this week from Cheeto, but I assume it's because he's in parts unknown getting liquored off his face.
Boo. But I get it.
I mean,
but boo.
Yeah.
But
right,
I understand.
Right.
But boo. Oh, wait.
Mm-hmm.
He's supporting our show while he's doing this because he's wearing our T-shirt.
Yeah. Right. He's out there being a hype man.
Which go to saltylanguage.com. Check out the merch link. To support the show. I should have changed it to merch because merch is so much better.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right. I do have an answer
from for us.
Right. I have an answer from friend of the show, Jarrett. Jarrett, not Jared. Making sure I'm, Anyway, he said, I would say everyone should experience having a dog. They're such great companions and can teach you so much. It's too bad so many have allergies to them, though. Oh, and I would not recommend feeding them cat food.
I don't know what you're talking about, bro. What do you mean?
Sounds like pretty good advice to me.
Yeah, I know. What, you don't like hot, stinky pudding on your floor?
Nope,
it's
sure don't.
Crazy.
Yep. No. Just live vicariously through you on that one.
Yeah, just listen to the past episode because I'm sure I've definitely talked about hot shite flying everywhere before.
You did. Yeah. All right. So for this week, 1 through 11, I gotta get some more questions soon.
Oh shoot! Well, I mean, I guess we'll go 8.
8.
8.
Oh, I just realized there's actually 10 because there is no question 9. It's just empty.
I mean, that's the best one. We just don't ask question that week.
Yeah. All right. This one is, what is something that people need to stop romanticizing? I have definitely got an answer for this one.
All right, lay it on me, Stuart.
My answer would be the concept of that you have to suffer to create. That like in order to be a good artist, you have to be miserable, or that good songwriting only comes from pain, that kind of thing. Because I think that's a load of shit. Now, granted, there is an opportunity to create in there, and it's a great way sometimes for catharsis, to really get that out of you by putting it into a painting or a song or whatever it is. But you also can be inspired and create from just anything in the world. And this was something that at one point was part of the reason why I didn't want to go on an antidepressant, was I was afraid that, well, if you take away my air quote edge, I won't be able to draw the same or this or that the same. And I've seen plenty of artists go on these medicines, and crazy enough, they still turn out amazing artwork and different stuff. So yeah. But the concept of anyone deciding to continue to suffer because they're afraid their work won't be as good, it's like, yo, take a step back from that and really think about that statement. Like, you should never choose suffering if you have a better option.
Right.
Like, the work you'll figure it out, So please, if you're listening and you're suffering just to be an artist, please stop doing that stuff. Like, like the concept of, think about Van Gogh and how much he was suffering with his mental illness, and he works, and it's like, yeah, but he still was miserable horrible. Like, you know, people kill themselves. A lot of artists kill themselves because they don't see an option. It's like, please don't do that. You know,
Right.
just, I'd rather, you know, you just got to find a way to get inspired and whatever. It's just an adjustment.
I mean, you know, I got some. Mine's
right,
kind
so how
of
about
along
you?
the same lines because I heard one of my coworkers today say this to me, and it's like, well, I don't roll out of bed for less than 45 hours a week, and it's like, it's the people that devote their lives to just work, and they like puff their chests out about it, like, oh, well, you know, like I work like 50 hours a week, and I fucking hate it, you know.
Yeah. It's you know, like you hear people sometimes be like, I haven't had a day off in a month or whatever. And it's like,
my vacation's Sunday.
You should. Yeah, it's like, no, you should. It's good for you. It's really good for your mental health as well as just your physical health and everything.
3-day weekend I had felt amazing, and I can't wait for like my week and a half coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think I want to get up every morning and do what I do? Fuck no.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I would gladly not roll out of bed for 45 hours. Like, leave me in bed, please.
Yeah. I just, and also like along the lines, like another one to me would be the concept of that going to some like kind of stuff or just shittiness is like that because you're young, you deserve less money for doing a job. Like people, you know, don't want workers at McDonald's to make $15 an hour because they think about how for their first job, it was a shitty job.
I made a quarter an hour and we liked it.
Yeah. My first job was at Best Buy and I made, I think, $4.50 an hour.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I was working, I mean, because I'm the type, you know, that, you know, the way I used to be, give me all the hours,
Right.
you know, so I was working 40 plus hours, you know, for the few months I worked there. You know, and I was fine with it, but I was also, you know, 18 years old and,
right.
You know, the world hadn't completely run me down on that stuff yet,
you
but it
haven't
was
been
like,
beat down yet.
dude, if somebody was like, yeah, I work at Best Buy now and I make $10 an hour, I wouldn't be like, man, that's stupid. It doesn't just, I'd be like, good. I mean, that's way better than what I made, you know, like,
right.
And they don't have to climb up the ladders to get stuff down the way I used to. They keep everything on the floor now at those stores to open the visibility around the store. You know, when I worked there, they had shelves that were like 10 feet tall that we had to get up on a ladder and get shit down, you know? So I worked probably harder for my $4.50 than someone does now for $10.
And you liked it. You loved it.
Yeah, no, I really didn't. But but you know what I mean? It's like we should stop romanticizing the concept of, oh, well, you pay your dues. Fuck you, pay me.
Yeah.
You know, or, you know, like interns coming out of school. Oh, well, you're an intern. You get this for your experience. Fuck you.
Yeah, you get
you're
being put this on your resume and get me coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care about my resume. I want to put shit in my wallet.
Yeah, the older I get, the more I realize that my time is more valuable than anything else.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying there are times where, you know, doing things for the portfolio or whatever, there's nothing wrong with that. There's also nothing. Yeah, you know, there's nothing wrong with doing, you know, working 50 hours sometimes or whatever. And listen, there's been plenty of times where I've taken advantage of the fact that those hours were there so that I could pay off a credit card or I could do this or, hey, here's some money so we have a few extra bucks for vacation.
Oh, yeah.
Like those, but that's where you're making those choices, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, like for me, you know, I was like my guy I'm working with now, he used to be a different part of the plant. He's like, oh, you know, slow season's coming up. He's like, you know, last year's slow season, you know, my coworker and I, we're getting sometimes, you know, 30, maybe 35 hours a week. He's like, how about you? And I'm like, dude, I've never gotten less than almost 50. Like 48 is weird. And he's like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. It's just like where I am, it's like the hours are there.
Right.
Yeah. Which kind of sucks sometimes.
Sometimes there's just jobs like that where what you do, you don't get light weeks. You know, you just, you know, whether it's physically or hours wise, you're just going to get your ass handed to you. And that's just the job. But let's just quit
trying to get out.
Let's just, like we were saying here, it's like, let's just quit romanticizing that so much. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're employed, I'm happy for you, you know, because we've come out of a year where a lot of people lost their jobs. And, you know, like I said, we've talked on here already, you know, we're seeing a little different in the emergence from it. And unfortunately, some businesses are closing because of it. But there's also an element to it that it's like, it's tough, you know, as people who've run a business, you know, it's like sometimes if you can't afford the cost of doing business, you can't be in business. That's just how it is. And I don't mean to sound cold. I don't mean to be mean to anybody, but we went through it too. We couldn't afford to hire anybody when we worked. So it was had our place. So as a result, we were working and we weren't paying ourselves because we couldn't at the time, you know. So, you know, had we hired somebody, good Lord, we would have, you know, it would have put us further back from being close to breaking even or ever making a profit. You know, it's like there's no way that was going to be able to happen. You know, I saw a meme the other day that cracked me up because it's so true, which was it was something like somebody talked about like how they work 9 to 5, but now they own their own business. So now they work 24/7.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I
was like, that's the truth, man. As you know, I remember my dad having to do that. Like I was asking my mom the other night, it was a weird question I had never thought of. As I asked her, I said, could my dad cook? Because I was thinking about it and I was like, I don't remember my dad making any food except for like toast, a grilled cheese sandwich. Sometimes he'd like make eggs, you know, for breakfast or oatmeal. And that's basically it. I don't remember my dad ever going, you know, here's a legit dinner. Like if my mom time, we'd order pizza or go get food. I can't think, or I would cook, you know, once I got to a certain age, I would just make dinner basically.
Right.
And it took her a minute to think about it. And she was like, I don't think so. She's like, he never offered to. And again, for anyone listen, my dad was not like, well, that's not a man's place. He wasn't one of those guys. He just didn't know because my grandma was not the type to show him how to cook. She'd be like, get out of my kitchen.
Get you out now.
You know, because she was from the era that the women do the cooking.
Right.
And she didn't want, like, I've been over there over the years and offered to help her. And she's basically like, get out of here. You're a guy kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And now I will say this. She absolutely won't turn food away. If I'm like, yo, I cooked this. She won't be like, slap it out of my hand and be like, a man made that. You know, like,
gross.
She likes the fact and is proud of the fact that I do know how to cook and, you know, can do that. But it was kind of a weird question. It just kind of came out of nowhere because we got to talking about it. And I was like, I don't remember my dad ever cooking anything. Like for him to cook would have been literally like making a sandwich,
right.
You know? So I, you know, and my mom even, like I said, my mom backed that up. She was like, I don't remember him ever making a dinner. He'd offer to help her. And usually she was like, nah, I got it. You know how it is sometimes when you don't have a real big kitchen, you're just like, just get out of here. I got, you know,
you're now in the way.
Yeah. So, but you know, she absolutely taught me how to cook. He never discouraged that. He was never like, what are you doing cooking? That's woman's work. You know, he was, like I said, that's not how he was at all.
Right.
But, yeah, it was just kind of an interesting thing. But a lot of it too had to do with the fact that most of the time, you know, he would work until say 5 o'clock. My brother would leave because they had a body shop together. My brother couldn't be around when he would paint cars because my brother had an allergy to a hardener they used to put in paint. And so he would leave and then my dad would shoot a car.
Right.
And then my dad would come home and by then it's like 8 o'clock at night, you know? So, you know, we'd already have had dinner a lot of times because, you know, my mom's not going to wait until 9 o'clock. You know, we weren't we have to wait till your father's home, you know?
Right.
So, you know, by the time he got home, there's no way in hell he's making dinner because he's beat, you know, and he's going to get up the next morning and go do it all again, you know, because you own your own business. That's you know, your face is on the business cards basically. So, yeah. So anyways, yeah, long story short from all of this, like Tony said, is the big thing to take away, which is value your time.
Yes.
And especially if you're younger and you're listening to this, please don't do what dummies like me and Tony did, which was put our loyalty and shit into companies because they aren't going to give you shit back. So take care of yourself.
I'm still doing that.
Yeah, I know, but you're still not doing it. You're not doing it the way you used to do it. Because this place is a little more like, hey, this is the job, not, oh, hey, can you this and can you give us this and do this and So we're like, yeah, I got that, no problem. And now we were scheduled 40 hours, but we're working 60 and doing a bunch of bullshit, not getting paid, getting our hours faked on documents, which is fucking illegal as hell. You know, we're getting stolen from literally. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Boundaries.
Damn right.
If you're having trouble setting boundaries, this is my crazy life moment of the week. If you're having trouble setting boundaries, go talk to a therapist.
There you go.
Help that, get some help to help you set boundaries, because boy, oh boy, I'll tell you what, setting boundaries really makes you seem like an asshole at first. But after that, you realize how empowering it is. And I don't mean that in a like lording it over kind of way. But when somebody says, hey, you should do this, and you go, no, or I told you I can't, there's something about that when you can take your power.
Exactly. I think Rage Against the Machine put it best. Got to take the power back.
Oh, I thought you meant killing in the name of. Okay.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
All right, enough of my soapboxing. Now time for my beatboxing. No, anyway. Be something if I actually had some talent at it, and then go into it.
It would be incredible.
Yeah, people would be like, wow, 500 episodes in. We're just now hearing this? What's going on?
What the fuck, bro?
I like to keep my gifts separate from the podcast,
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. Once again, the question for this week, people need to stop romanticizing.
Show me what you got.
Show me what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. I guess that's a show. No?
That is a show.
All right. Well, head over to saltylanguage.com. Click all the links. Check out the enthusiast episodes, including the newest one we posted with art model Dare Taylor, which was a lot of fun. And hopefully people who've listened have enjoyed it. I've had a couple reach out and tell me that they thought it was a good time.
I forgot.
What?
I have a placeholder for future enthusiasts. It just says soon. It's a meme, and I pulled it up for the video, and instead of Dare's lovely face, it was this psychotic-looking Furby.
Yeah, that's certainly not her. Yeah.
No.
So yeah, definitely check that out in our also the episode with Mark from the Tangent Bound Network was the one before that. So go check that out. That was a fun talk too. So yeah. And again, all the past episodes are there. No paywall on those. Just go have a listen, go back way back and just cringe at Tony and I as fresh-cheeked lads.
Go have a time.
Yeah. Go do all that stuff. You can find the link to our network on the website also, which is Tangent Bound Entertainment.
Yes.
So go over there. If you're looking to start a new show, whether it's a YouTube type show, if you're last I knew of anyway, I haven't heard an update yet, but Mark said they were still looking for people to maybe volunteer to do like radio shows. And different stuff. So, go talk to Mark if you're looking to start something new. And, of course, tell him Tony misses him.
Smooches.
Yeah. Also, maybe tell him that Tony wants to put one of his sticks in his mouth.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
All right. If you want to reach out to us on the socials, you can find... Oh, I just stepped over Macho Man. It's like I was at a cemetery.
I really got to have a little link tree set up for the end of the show here for the video, so I can just pull up everything as you're talking about it. But that'll be future production.
So look for that in about 2050.
Yeah, exactly, basically. Or at least until it gets cooler, because it's too hot to just sit up here and work in the heat.
Right. Well, that's not going to happen, man. Global warming, it's just going to keep getting hotter, Tony.
It's true.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right.
Anyway, if you want to reach out to us on the socials, you can find us on Twitter at salty_language. Hey.
Oy vey.
You can You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stunami.
You can find me on Instagram at The Monotony. And Salty Language is available on all your social medias, really. The Instas, the TikToks, the Facebooks. Salty Language Pod, if you want to watch the video of the show, which I'm slowly working out the kinks on. Hopefully it'll be up before, like, 4 days after the show drops in the audio file.
Right. Oh, speaking of TikTok, congrats to former enthusiast guest Jacob Gibbons on now having 100,000 followers on TikTok.
Good for him. Goddamn.
And seriously, if you don't follow him, go check him out. I believe he's at, I don't remember his handle on there.
I have noticed a lot of people starting to copycat his style of video.
Yeah, I'm seeing more and more of it too, which is, that's standard for the internet, right?
Yep,
so.
Exactly. Oh, someone hit it big. I better copy it.
That's how it works.
Yep.
So yeah, go check out his reaction videos to stuff, or his current ones where he's putting was it like essential albums of the 90s, I think is the other one he's doing.
Yeah. So
go check those out. They're good fun. And if you're from that era, especially, they're a good throwback to our youth, back when we was just innocent teenagers, angsty, and despite all our rage, we were just rats in a cage,
Indeed.
Oh, man. All right. So, yeah, there you go. If I forgot where I was going to go with that. So until next week, have a beer. You'll be fine.
Stay salty, everybody.
I don't have anything for this week.
What?
I don't even have a show title for this week.
A show title?
I don't have anything.
Holy shit, Brian.
Maybe I'll just call the show I Got Nothing.
I mean, that's pretty standard for us.
Right. Because especially for anyone who's like, oh, where are they going to say the show title in the episode? It's like just the last thing I say. Just be like, yeah, I got nothing. Done.